_POD just resubbed. It's been 9 months. Thanks to Himeutsugi for my sub gift.
Holy mackerel!
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is Himeutsugi. Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing well today. I saw that Kai got first. So hello, hello. Hello to Kai. Hello to Stoat and Say and Chuck and Woven and Pigeon and Taro, to Nea, to Kit Kat, Tiny Tiefling, Silver, Zachary, Unleashed, Atomic. I think I got everybody that checked in. Hello, hello. Good birthiversary eve. Almost. It's the eve. My birthday is on Wednesday, so there's still a little bit more time. But yeah, it's good to see everyone today. Oh my gosh, Atomic 179 check-ins. Mr. Schaff with 209. I love that. Oof, okay. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing very well today. I had a good HOA meeting, I believe. I think I did well. I had a couple people stop me and tell me how great a job I'm doing as president, which was very sweet. It was a very positive meeting overall, so what do you mean Tuesdays don't count? That's a little silly. Happy soon-to-be birthday. Yeah, thank you, Brovican. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm really excited to turn 37. Yippee. But yeah, tomorrow, I do compete for my Warhammer AOS, that I'm having that match tomorrow, so that's the 1,250 point battle, so I'm a little tired. Who doesn't love a number that goes up? I don't know. Do people normally get excited about their age number going up? I don't know about that one. Same age as the missuses. the missuses? You have more than one missus? Which, you know, no judgment if you do, but dang. Okay, I think I might need to turn the gain down a little. Let's see. You're merely another year wiser. Now, I know that's not true. That's definitely not true, so. I'm speaking, like, the mic is to my left, and so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. But yeah, ooh, I did want to show y'all, because I got 2 new tarot decks in today. From the Scarlet and Black Tarot, and then I picked up one of their older decks too, since it was one of the things, and so I did want to show a little. I already took it out of the box, but I wanted to show y'all some of the cool stuff. I did get a mouse pad. I guess it must have been a stretch goal or something, but I gave that to the husband. But look at this. So this deck is limited, so I was wondering what this big box was, but it seems to just be a little card showing which limited edition deck I got. It's pretty neat. So yeah, I'm number 446. Thanks for your support and affection. Premium collectible. They only made 1,000. So I got number 446. Pretty neat. Ash already said that we'll be able to get the original Covens Tarot deck during the COM. Yeah, you know, because I didn't end up getting it, and I was feeling a little bit of FOMO. So I'm glad. But the new one, the cards I've seen so far from the new one look amazing. Again, I am very biased, but, you know, y'all know I love Alice in Wonderland. Just look at my Alice. The Alice deck I'm working on for Grand Archive. I have an Alice in Wonderland playing card set that I use a lot for my TTRPGs. Like, you already know. No, the wife just deserves all the S. You know what? That's fair. Understandable. Have a nice day. My Neighbor Otoro. Yo, that book looks amazing. Yeah, this is the one for Abyss Echo. Yeah, it's a binder that I fill up. Welcome, by the way. I love... My Neighbor Otoro is so good. Otoro is such a good cut of sushi. Now you're making me want to eat some Otoro. I'm very easily influenced. I came in after the campaign had ended and wasn't able to grab it, so yeah, very rad. Yeah, I decided not to, but Covens was I think the first Cross Paths game that I actually backed, and because I came after Bramble Trek had already ended, and so I didn't know as much about the company back then. Now, of course, I know you go all in. If Ash made it, you go all in. But I did not. I was just a wee burb. I didn't know at the time. So yeah, I might go back and get the tarot deck as well. Look at this. So this is the old one that I got because I didn't have it, but by the same maker. So this is the Whisper of Stars and Garden Tarot.
Flame gifted a tier 1 sub to Indra.
Thank you, Killer. Sushi Bill sub. Hello, welcome. Yeah, we're gonna play some more Abyss Echo, but I did want to show everyone the new tarot decks I got today, like just now. So this is the Whisper of Stars and Garden Tarot. On my way here from the Fabula Ultima vids on YouTube, ordered and waiting for the deluxe set of books. Oh yeah, I went all in on that one as well, so understandable. It's a long wait. I was sad, not surprised, but sad about the whatchamacallit, the delay that had to happen with the collector's boxes and everything, but look at this. I know it's hard to tell, but the edges are blue and they're actually a little sparkly. It is so beautiful. Crows launches in less than 12 hours. I'm excited. Aww. Yeah, so this is the, oh, it's hot. I think some of the cards are just stuck together from the heat and everything, but oh, I guess they have 2 alternates for the Fool. It's kind of hard to tell which one I like more. So the bottom of the box says, may you follow your heart's true call with blossoms filling your soulful path. But like, dang, look at these cards, man. Magician, High Priestess. The Empress. It's so whimsical. Yeah. The Emperor. Oh. Oh, hello. Another Emperor. Oh, there's alternates. I kind of like this sleepy looking one. I don't know, the Bara Emperor is a bit much, I think. The Hierophant. These are so cute. There's another Hierophant, but I like the little girl one better. The Lovers. I hope there's alternates of this one as well. Yep. This one is cute. Oh, they're both hetero, but you know, can't have it all, I suppose. The Chariot. Oh, this is very cool. Oh, the Hermit card is that. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. Wait, did I miss something? Is it Under's birthday? Hi, Iris! Yeah, fancy book. My first solo game purchase and expats game. Yeah, sushi is good. Yes, it is. Your wife is an S rank. Wonderland is my fave. Yeah. Joining for a bit. Oh, I missed that part. Joining for a bit before I'm off to celebrate my birthday. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, Ender! Yeah! Okay, I missed that part. I think I saw right under. Oh, that's awesome. Yay. Are you going out to party or are you going out to eat? Or both? Oh, look at this Hanged Man card! The whimsy. I love it. Oh, this death guys. This is so cool. Dang, these are beautiful. Here's Temperance. And then that deck is pretty, I know, right? Here is the Devil. 1, and then the Devil 2. Very cool. And then here is, hi Collier, here is the Tower, you know, my personal card, which if you are a subscriber, you already saw my thing. But this is so cool with all the eyes. I don't know, guys, the Tower is starting to become my favorite card too, and I don't know if that's just cope from me getting it all the time, but Star. The Moon. I love this deck. It's so whimsical. The Sun. Oh my gosh, Judgment is so cute. Look. Oh well, there's another. Dang, they gave a lot of alternates. Here's another Judgment. This one is a little bit more traditional. Thank you, going out to eat with my family. Oh, I love that. Yeah. The World. Beautiful. And then we have all the minor cards, which, you know, dang, they actually... Dang, I think it's like a separate piece of art for every single card. Ooh. So the wands guy going on a journey, or so I thought, and then I saw these camels. That's really cool. Oh, I love it. I know a lot of Christmas gifts born in August. It's funny. Queen. King. Oh, here's cups. These are really cool. Oops. No, I dropped a few on the ground. Alright, hang on. Ugh. Oh, a blue whale. Look at that. That is a really sick deck, right? Here's your daily reminder to use your Prime sub. Oh yeah, that is important. Thank you. Wow, the moon. I know, right? These are also pretty. Oh. I'm already playing the Abyss Echo music, even though we're doing this. It's fine. 5 of Cups. 6 of Cups. Yeah, each and every one of these cards is a work of art. That's amazing. Oh my god. Hello? Dang, they really did not phone it in with these either. Oh my god. Wow. The Cups cards are also pretty. Ooh, I want to see the swords. Oh my god, I just keep flinging them into my lap by accident. Oh, I always love seeing how artists do the swords ones. What is your fave dice on my desk right now? The Be Not Afraid ones with the wings and the eyes. These are my favorite. Do you know the numbers on your blindness without glasses? Yes, I have -3 and, or no, -3.5 and -4. I am not legally blind. I am. Can't see very well. Ooh. Oh, this Queen of Swords card? Wow, with the swan? Hello? Wow. Oh, there's a hype train. I just noticed. Oh my goodness, thanks for the hype train. Look, the Ace of Pentacles is a little turtle. Look at that. Cute. I think this is... Oh my gosh, the pentacles. Cute! Wow, why would you take my glasses off like that? Rude. I love it! Oh my gosh, the pentacles are little gnomes. Thank you, Woven! This is a little scary. These are so pretty. Yeah, I love that it's like fairies. Oh, hello. Look at this elk. That's beautiful. Oh, the queen with the little turtle. The turtle came back. That's so cute. Oh, and then reflections and mistletoe. Very pretty. Oh, the card backs are also very pretty. I thought that was gonna remove your glasses IRL. Why? I wear contacts most of the time, so... Right now I'm wearing glasses, but if I remove them, I wouldn't be able to see anything, so we're not gonna do that. It's cool. Alright, so that was the first day. I have an idea based on tarot where you flip between a fated future and a world not yet given, the curse of confusion at the fall of the Tower of Babel. Oh gosh. Wow, the music got kind of loud. This song is just loud, I see. Okay. Yeah, so that is the Whisper of Stars and Garden Tarot.
Collier_Padlock1 calls for a change in my form. Chibi, please.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so that was the first deck that I got. It's so cute, so pretty, and whimsical. I do love that. And then the other one is the one that the campaign was actually for. Gotta put these on the shelf. And then the other one I got is the actual Scarlet and Black Tarot, so I think the same makers, but different deck, which you'll see. Do you play Magic? I do not. I play Grand Archive. Okay. So here's the other one. Very different vibes, you will see here in a moment. So this is the Scarlet and Black, which is very thematic with what I have going on my desk right now with the Abyss Echo stuff. So this is the Scarlet and Black deck. Do you think D&D in? I don't know what that means. It's the Chibi Hime. Yeah. This is the Scarlet and Black Tarot. Similar deck box, but different vibes. So this one says, the long night weaves its dark veil only to await the stain of scarlet. Love that. I've been poked! Oh my goodness. Yeah, I love that these two decks are basically like opposites of each other, but so here's the back of this one with the ravens and the feathers and the moon. It's very pretty. Alright. So we're gonna go again from the beginning. The Fool. This one doesn't seem to have as many alternates. But yeah, look at the colors on this thing. Hi Viper! Oh my gosh, I've been poked again. The High Priestess, and this is the art that's on the mouse pad. I'll try to hold it a little closer. It's just so pretty. Yeah, they're similar but different. Because the chariot, the other chariot, the horses looked a little similar to this too, but... Strength of the Hermit. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged Man. See how it's similar with the ice cream, but it's like darker, muted vibes. I just love how, you know, these are very similar decks and yet also not. Like, look at this one. Ah, Death. Somehow the red and the black are just so striking on this. Like, they're, again, very similar. Very, like, almost very similar. It's the same art, but, like, with a different spin on it, you know what I mean? Doesn't have as, like I said, it doesn't have all the alternates that the blue deck had, but they're so pretty. Dang, the tower in this color scheme is just, look at that. Beautiful. And I love it's the same art, but somehow seeing it this way with the different colors makes it feel so different. Different mood, you know? There's the moon with the unicorn and this little harpy or something there. Dang. Oh yeah, the wish. This one has more bonus cards. So here's like the wish and guardianship. And now we have all of the minors. So Ace of Cups. Or no, Wands. Ace of Wands, Two of Wands. I wonder if these look different. Oh no, it's still Wands. Yeah, it's the same art. Just red and black. Yeah, I love this muted, beautiful style of it. Oh, even this one looks really different. They did a great job. Knight of Cups. Queen of... Oh, these are upside down. Queen of Cups. Ace of Swords. Look at... Oh, man. Very cool. Arrow decks. Yeah, you missed my walkthrough of the other one, but it's me. I'll switch back after I'm done with this deck. I don't want to put it down. Look at that. 9 of Swords. 10 of Swords. Oh yeah, these look different. Or maybe it's just the way it's colored makes it look so much more sinister. Oh yeah, nope, see? There she is with the swan again. And the wheelchair. That's really cool. Hiya, Maya! The King of Swords. And there's the turtle again for the pentacles. Oh, the 5 of Pentacles looks really sad there. Oh, they're like... Oh, it didn't look like that before. That's really sad. Yeah, I swear these looked a little different. Oh, now they're strawberries instead of whatever it was before. Yeah, so some of the cards are just a little subtly different. And I swear it's not just the color scheme. Ooh. Age. There's the knight again. He's got face paint now that I don't think he had before. But I love this card, the Queen of Pentacles. And the king again. Neat! Yeah. Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Can I get a happy birthday song from you, Hime? Oh, yes, of course! Let me turn off the music. It's a little creepy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ender. Happy birthday to you. Hee hee. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family. Do you already know what you're eating, or is it supposed to be like a surprise? Okay, I'm gonna switch back. Don't remember how far zoomed in I was. I think somewhere like that. Happy birthday. Happy birthday from all of us to you. We should wish it was our birthday so we could party too. Happy birthday, may all your dreams come true. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too. Hey! Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to show those. Oh, I have this this little, I guess it's an altar. I thought it was an altar cloth, but it seems too big. It almost looks like a blanket. Usually altar cloths are like quite small. Oh yeah, this is like a blanket or something. I don't know. Or like, no, I guess it is an altar cloth. It's just really thick. Okay, I don't know how to show this to you. It is quite large, but it's got some little birds and a sun and that. There you go. So what's the tarot decks from? I want them now, especially the black and red. They were on Kickstarter a while ago. I don't know if they're still available because I know at least the Scarlet and Black one was like a limited print run. I definitely posted them on the Discord way back when it was still crowdfunding, but let me see if I can find it. It was the Scarlet and Black Tarot and then the Whisper of Garden, Stars and Garden Tarot. Those were the two, so they're very similar, similar colors. So the Scarlet and Black one, it looks like it's the... I guess they had some left over because I only made 1,000, but I guess they didn't sell 1,000. I'm trying to look. Oh yeah, they have a few left. And I don't know if these are collector's edition, but you can... let me link to it. And they might have some more info on where you can get them. I mean, I didn't think they were terribly expensive. I got both of them. I got both those decks plus all of these little extras because all the extras were added on later. Oh no, I guess I paid extra for the add-ons. I'm looking for my other bags. So I paid for the extra, oops. I got the exclusive card bags. Mouse pad. Tablecloth. Collector's edition. All of that. Interesting. Interesting. I guess I got another card bag because there's two of them. I'm trying to understand what I actually... Yeah, I got a few add-ons, but the two decks themselves were less than 100 for both, so there you go. I wonder if you can still get them. I'm trying to see if there's like a late pledge. I did just get them. But yeah, that was really fast because this funded on May 8th and I got them already. Yeah, I'm not seeing like a late pledge or anything. Well, like a... I wonder if they're gonna be up for sale again. Yep. So that's exciting. So I don't really need more decks. Fair enough. I mean, who really needs more decks? I certainly don't need them either, but... Very cool. Oh, I see the two bags are the same. I wish one of the bags would have matched the other tarot set, but they kind of vibe with the Covens of Midnight 2 Space. Yeah, it's fair. Okay. Okay. Well, I know what we're all here for. It's time for some more Abyss Echo, but thank you for dealing with putting up with me and my tarot deck showing off. To see if there's a way I can see, but I like having the book up because then I can have everything out in front. Oh my goodness. Wow, thank you Hexy for the raid. Oh my goodness. Very sudden. Oh, you were playing Fields of Mystria. I hope you've been enjoying that. I haven't played since the official release, but, you know, I'm sure it's fun. I enjoyed what I've played of it so far, so thank you, thank you. If you have to raid and run, I understand. Please don't let me keep you if you need to do your post-stream care and everything. I was waiting for the official release. Ah, yeah, I love playtesting and stuff, so I played quite a bit of it. I think I did the first 2 seasons. So yeah, I played quite a bit, but I do want to get back to it eventually. I probably won't stream it, but I do want to get back and play it now that it's actually out and everything. But yeah, for those that don't know me, my name is Hime. I am a non-binary parrot VTuber. I normally do tabletop RPG content. I also build and paint miniatures. I do handicrafts like knitting, knitting, cross-stitch, that sort of thing. And then I, of course, play cozy games and roguelikes and stuff. Recently, I got into Grand Archive, which is a TCG. And that's been another thing that I've been doing a lot of. And I do want to start streaming that a bit more regularly, too. It's just hard to do content of that on my own, you know? But yeah, they are addicted to Grand Archive. I mean, addicted is a bit of a strong word because I can't, like I said, I can't really do very much of it on my own. But Lacey and I, my twin Lacey and I, the other day played for like 5 hours. It's a lot of fun. I'm getting into the real swing of like playing the game properly, and I did buy tickets for the Ascent competition back. It's in December, so that's really exciting. Oh, show off the nails? No, I painted them before Offkai. They're like chipped as all heck, so I don't. And I broke this nail today, so nothing to show off. They're nasty. But yeah, so. Don't judge me. I keep meaning to redo them. Like, I thought I would redo them before school started, but it's like, did not have time. It is a pretty color. I wish they weren't so chipped. But yeah. So we are playing Abyss Echo today, which is an immersive interactive narrative experience, basically. So it's like a cross between a TTRPG and a board game and a choose your own adventure novel, pretty much. We are in chapter 2, so if you saw this, I don't know if you saw this when you came in, but basically the story's in a binder and I unlock each chapter one at a time as we get to it. Decisions get made, I get to roll a die, there's like sanity and madness and all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah. So we're in chapter 2. I have 2 cameras. I have a top-down camera and a from the side camera that I just swap between depending on what we are currently doing. So let me switch to this. Oop. Alright, so let me tilt this camera a little. Alright. Okay, so this is what we are up to. So it's quite a bit of reading, and then I do have the, you know, the dice tray here and the character cards. We have a very, it's not even a theory at this point, but my camera is in love with the main character, Rodrigo, because if we put Rodrigo near the camera, it zooms in, yep, it auto-zooms pretty, I wouldn't say exclusively, but very consistently. The other characters, a lot of times I'll put them up and it doesn't even deign to, like, zoom on them. I don't know if maybe they don't recognize the faces as well. But Rodrigo, every time, it just knows. Yeah, so it is canon now that my, this particular camera is like in love with Rodrigo, but he's the main character, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, so the characters have these like scratch off sections where as we learn more about them, I get to scratch them off, and we will eventually learn their innate traits and stuff like that. So we don't know very much yet. We know Rodrigo has seems like some old mafia ties, because they did talk about that a little bit in the prologue, but now he's trying to be a doctor. He's in medical school. So why a medical student has to go to Antarctica to do research is kind of beyond me, but, you know, apparently the aurora or something in Antarctica, they are theorizing can cure cancer. Maybe. So that's what they're investigating. But so this is the main character, Rodrigo. Yep. This is his roommate and frenemy Tong Kwok Quen, he decided not to go to Antarctica because he was like, it seems like a suicide mission. And this is Professor Romanova, who is our professor and the one leading the expedition. This is the dean of the school, Dean Sterling. He's really strict. I don't know, we haven't had a whole lot of interactions with him yet, but he's got a whole, like, love-hate relationship with Dr. Romanova. And then this is Catherine. She is an opera singer, who I think Rodrigo has a bit of a relationship with. I don't know, they're trying. But yeah, so she's an opera singer. And yeah, so that is basically the main cast. Catherine seems like she'll curse me. Maybe. So yeah. Oh, we don't have a pinned message. The problem, and I mean, I'm happy to link to the Abyss Echo Kickstarter, but the problem is I don't know if they currently have any plans to, like, sell this game, reprint it or anything like that. So I will link it and pin it here. It's already in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, there's already a description of it. But I will link it so you can look more at it if you want to. But currently, I don't think it is actually possible to buy the game. It isn't. I don't know why I say I think. It is not possible to buy the game. I will tell y'all if that ever changes. And I know they said after fulfillment is done, they'll kind of take inventory and assess. But yeah. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's beautiful. Love the leather look. Assume it's not real leather. I believe it's all pleather. Yeah. I don't think any of it is real leather. This would have been a lot more expensive if it was. But I believe all of the pieces are not real leather. Yeah, that's why sometimes you gotta just get on stuff when it appears. I posted on the Discord when this was still funding, and sometimes you just gotta, cause blink and it's gone. Okay, so I have my bookmark here, so I am gonna pick up my load. Loading my file here. This is where we left off. It is magnetic, but sometimes the magnet fights me. No, I bent the page a little bit. Oopsies. Okay, here we go. So this is where we left off. A lot of reading. Okay, hopefully my voice sounds okay. Again, the mic is like to the side of me a little bit, so if it sounds a little weird, let me know, but hopefully it's all right. Okay. February 15th, 1926. Turn down the gain, I keep hitting red. Okay. Today we finally chiseled an airstrip out of the white waste, on a thickened section of coastal sea ice to be precise. Calling it an airport was an insult to aviation. It was just a flat stretch of ice we and the expedition team had packed and smoothed until it was less lethal. No control tower, no runway lights, landing depended entirely on the pilot's nerve and eyesight. Senior Taylor had pried the lid off of a crate that scrawled a few crooked words in charcoal. Cole Romanova International Airport. He planted the sign in a snowbank, grinning like he'd just won an Ivy League title. For a moment, we forgot the extremity of our situation, even felt we were conquering this continent. Not long after, a low rumble tore through the ice plain's silence. At first, I thought it was another trick of the whispering glaciers, but the sound grew closer, more mechanical, more violent. The roar of an internal combustion engine, the noise of human civilization. A transport plane bearing the logo of Hypnos Medical Instruments pierced the low clouds and slammed roughly onto our makeshift runway. The sound of civilization. The camp erupted in unrestrained cheers. I joined in, shouting like a savage, my medical reserve forgotten, roaring out the ice that had gathered in my lungs over the past days. With a dull thud, the cabin door opened. The pilot staggered down the steps. The moment we saw him clearly, everyone froze. His goggles were askew, and from the tip of his nose hung two long, clear icicles that connected to his beard. Not some artistic ice sculptures, but frozen snot, dangling like inverted stalactites. Taylor burst out laughing first, doubled over. The laughter spread. I joined in, laughing until my face muscles ached from the cold. Those few minutes were perhaps the most human we had experienced since reaching Antarctica. Brief, yes, but that warmth of being alive genuinely drove some of the chill from my bones. Oh, welcome. Unrestrained summer fun. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so there he is with the icicle snot. Does not look fun. Neil Ramirez's camera seemed grafted to his face. I suspected he dreamed in focus. Oh, look at the little penguins. Cute. He always said he'd chosen the wrong major. He was less a medical student than a photographer stationed at the world's edge, documenting the end. When he moved among people and emperor penguins, that camera felt like an extra limb. Meanwhile, I huddled with Senior Taylor and Rourke, breathing white clouds, scribbling in my notebook. "You're a weird one, Ricci," Neil shouted, lens pointed at me. "Who keeps a journal in a place like this?" Click. The shutter captured the three of us like clumsy penguins shivering inside reindeer hide sleeping bags. In the photo, we must have looked utterly foolish. It's Rodrigo taking his notes. Oop, time for me to leave. Have a good birthday dinner. I'll see you later, Ender. Happy birthday again. By evening, the wind dropped. Rourke led us on a circuit of the surrounding rock formations. The geology here was bizarre. Expedition members excitedly explained this wasn't just Cambrian strata, but rare geological anomaly. In other words, it might hold a trove of rare fossils and ancient remains. If we dig something up on the black market, it could buy an estate with a pool, one of the seasoned expedition men bragged. Another added, "I once saw a big piece, too heavy to haul back. The thing inside was preserved perfectly, like it was only sleeping. Thaw the ice and it might even move." Everyone laughed, except one. Professor Romanova had been unusually silent the whole time. She trailed behind, neither joining the talk nor agreeing, her deep, unreadable eyes fixed on the exposed blue-black rock faces. When she heard the joke, she spoke. If a creature were perfectly preserved in the ice, could it secure resurrection after thawing? Yeah, Professor, haven't you watched Avatar? Her voice was soft, but it pierced the laughter like an ice pick. Conversation died instantly. Oh. Perhaps the word resurrection, with its vivid religious overtones, froze the air. The excited crew fell silent. It was hard to tell whether she was posing a scientific question or voicing some expectation. In the awkward quiet, only the lighter's click broke the stillness. Rourke lit his pipe in a sheltered spot, the smoke freezing almost at once. He exhaled a ring, his eyes cold. "Then you'd better pray that never happens, Professor." No one spoke again. The wind picked up. The camp flag snapped loudly in the gale with a dry, sharp sound, like something hiding in a distant ice crevice, patiently grinding its teeth. Rourke's interest in those rocks didn't feel like archaeology. Sometimes I thought his gaze on Antarctic fossils looked more like he was appraising them. After dinner, Neil pulled me aside into a storeroom at the edge of the station. He'd converted it into a makeshift darkroom. Red safe light painted the cramped space like the inside of a vast blood vessel. The air stung with the acidic tang of developer, mixed with the fumes of a Primus stove keeping the chemicals warm. "Take a look at this, Ricci," Neil said, gently rocking a developing tray. "Today's best shot, a masterpiece." We leaned over the sink, watching the murky liquid. The paper swayed in the bath as Neil rocked the tray. An image emerged like a ghost from the white surface. First, the gray snowscape, then our three figures, bulky in reindeer hide bags, penguin-like. Okay. There's an emergency event. We're going to roll a die and see. Reality phrase. The illusion of free will shatters. You are walking on unstable ground, guided by whispers. So, we'll see if I keep my sanity or not. Oh, I actually rolled a crit. I don't see any sanity symbols, but I think a crit... Let me double check the whole book on if the crit has... I don't think this has any sanity symbols on it, though. That might be cooked. I don't see any sanity symbols. It just means a critical success, so I don't... If you roll a critical success, immediately restore 3 sanity and roll again. Oh, sweet. Okay, never mind. So I do have to roll again, but I have... Ooh. So I went back up to 60, which is good, because I had dropped down to 57 last time. So this brings me back up to 60 sanity. So 60 on the sand scope. So back to average stability. The mind holds, but pressure whispers. All right. So we're at 60 on the sand scope. Well, I can never check in again. Not everybody says that, and then they check in anyways. You just can't resist the number going up, I know. Okay, so I gotta roll again. Actually, let me switch to the top-down camera for this. I just realized y'all can't actually see the rolls. There we go. Okay, I got at least one sanity symbol, so good. Your mind holds firm against the depths. Okay, so we are just gonna turn the page. We'll watch VOD later, must go to bed, have fun with the game. Thanks, Chase, have a good sleep. Also, you rolled right on beat, amazing. Yeah, it is nice when that happens. Alright, the image sharpened. I recognized us. In the middle, Rourke's broad frame. To the left, Senior Taylor. On the right, I hunched over my notes. Huddled together, clumsy and absurd, a portrait of desperate humor in an impossible place. But the faces? I stared at where our faces should have been. No eyes, no noses, no mouths. Beneath the thick reindeer hide hoods, only smooth, blank, pale flesh. Like half-finished wax figures, or if some force had taken an eraser and maliciously scraped away every human feature. A chill— oops, I forgot to switch back. Okay. A chill pierced the dark room's stale heat, raising hairs on my neck. Neil. My voice was rough. I pointed at the tray. Our faces. Faces? What about them? Neil gave me a strange look. He lifted the print with tongs, held it under the red light to drain. We're all smiling. Look at you, all hunched over like a scared rabbit. I blinked hard. In the swaying red glow, the image remained clear. Rourke grinned around his pipe. Taylor's face held its usual open warmth. I was smiling faintly, looking down at my notes. Every feature was there, vivid, even our reddened, frozen noses. So I'd misseen it? But I'd been certain. Okay, so, for some reason, I lose 6 sanity. What? But it says my mind holds firm. Why did my sanity go down? Man. Okay, well, first I did get the artifact, so I'm gonna add that to my little trophy board. So I got artifact number 8, the expedition photo. So I will get that out, the actual artifact, so y'all can see it, and then I'll put the sticker on the thing. Alright. Alright, so here is the actual expedition photo. You can see Rodrigo. Y'all saw that, right? Y'all saw how the camera went straight. It zoomed straight in on Rodrigo. I can barely even tell it's Rodrigo. How did... The cameraman, it knows. The camera knows. That's waifu right there. Alright, anyway, so here's Rourke, and then there's Taylor. But yeah, it was like, ooh, Rodrigo? Rodrigo? It's very funny. It's very silly. Okay, so that's the expedition photo. And then let me get the sticker to put the board. I've been, I'll post the board photo on Discord after, so. So this is number 8. We'll go add that to the trophy board. The trophy board pinned to the wall, so if you haven't been watching these streams, I do have the board. It is a poster on the wall that I just stick these stickers to. And then at the end of the stream, I take a picture so you can see them. So you can see the board filling up with all of the stuff that we found. Pretty neat. Okay. The headphones back in. Oh, I didn't open my water yet. I should probably do that because I'm reading a lot. We gotta, okay. And then, so I'm gonna put this back into the binder with the artifacts that we have gained so far. And then I lose 6 sanity, so I'm right back down in the 50s. I'm down to 54. So my sanity has gone back down to nervous tension. Something gnaws at the edge of thought. Sleep forgets you, dang. Sorry, Rodrigo. Well, I'm glad that we got that crit then, because that did raise my sanity a little bit before it went down, at least. Okay, I'm gonna open. I just got a plain LaCroix today. Hi, Nick! Good to see you. Alright. The abyss beckons. Turn to page 188. Tuesday, February 23rd, 1926, 6:27 p.m. Source, Southwest Survey Group. Signal strength, weak, delayed 12 minutes. Recipient, R. Ricci. Attachment, shortwave radio reception log, ID R21. Due to severe wind shear, the Southwest Group's biplane deviated significantly from its planned route. The pilot attempted to avoid turbulence, but after failing to stabilize, executed an emergency landing in a mountain pass not marked on the map. Minor fuselage skin damage confirmed. All personnel safe. During terrain inspection, the crew noted a prominent fissure along one flank of the mountain, irregular in orientation with deep recesses. The opening emitted a continuous flow of frigid air, the temperature gradient sharply inconsistent with the surrounding environment. Preliminary assessment, non-natural geological formation. Non-natural, you say? What does that mean? Don't you like that? That's scary. Okay. A 3-person team entered the fissure wearing protective masks and portable lights. Survey summary: the interior cavern was extremely cold, with complex spatial geometry. At a depth of approximately 30 meters in the main chamber, they discovered a set of upright, irregularly spaced columnar structures, roughly 7 feet tall, with no discernible distribution pattern. Description by surveyor: the structures exhibited extreme, irregular geometric forms. Surface texture suggested a frozen flow state. The outer layer was a murky, ice-like substance, not conventional ice, opaque to semi-transparent, color ranging from gray-white to yellow-green. When observed, an anomalous glow was visible within. Anomalous observation: the interior of the structures emitted a self-luminous source, pulsing at low frequencies, accompanied by irregular optical refraction. The color corresponded to no known spectrum. Direct viewing caused severe visual afterimages and chromatic disorientation. Survey personnel reported: on approaching the structures, all team members experienced mild vertigo and temporal disorientation, accompanied by an unshakable sensation of being watched. Residual life signs remain unconfirmed. The team has followed a no-contact protocol. No physical touch or ice core sampling has been attempted. The survey group awaits further instructions. End of log. For an entire week, we were like insects trapped in a vacuum jar. The aurora vanished. Survey planes circled over blank zones like headless flies, returning only with static and frustration. On the surface, the lab continued with methodical calm, but I felt we were all just enduring. We were enduring time, enduring that damned hope. The expedition side was worse. Those hired hands lacked a researcher's patience. I watched them, wiping their ice axes again and again with a force that felt less like maintenance and more like sharpening blades, ready to cut something's throat. Hi, Gavin. Then this evening, the shortwave report cut through the silence. We converged on the radio like iron filings to a magnet. Static hissed, tormenting the ears. The signal broke up, but it was enough. Main chamber. Multiple frozen structures found. It was a survey geologist's voice. Even through heavy interference, I could hear his vocal cords straining. Species unconfirmed. Skeletal arrangement matches no known vertebrate. Submorphology resembles mollusks, but more complex. God, they're glowing in the ice. Approximately 7 feet tall. Formation possibly predates Cambrian. Preservation near perfect. There was no fear in his tone, but a mad, ecstatic thrill, like discovering a new continent. The radio fell silent for a few seconds. Then the tent erupted in the loudest cheer I'd ever heard. Neil hugged me so tightly my ribs ached. Taylor hurled his cap to the ground, laughing and swearing. We all knew. This wasn't just dry data anymore. This was tangible, something to touch, to name, to make history. But just as the fervor threatened to blow the tent roof off, Professor Romanova's voice poured over us like ice water. No contact. She stood at the edge of the crowd, face pale as death, voice as cold as iron. Mark and scan only. Absolutely no removal from the cave. The cheer choked off like a throttled duck. I stared. We'd waited so long for the aurora, and now a find that could rewrite biology was within reach, and she said no contact? The expedition side exploded first. You're joking, Professor, someone shouted. Do you know what this is worth back home? This belongs to humanity. We need a transport plan, now. The radio crackled with greedy static. This was no longer a scientific survey. It was a gold rush. The professor watched the frenzy, an unreadable emotion flickering in her eyes. Not anger, but fear? She didn't argue. Against that kind of fervor, reason was dust. She simply turned and left the tent. In the end, it was Rourke who called it. Plane leaves at dawn. Bring those damn babies home to Daddy. One way or another, tomorrow we would see them for ourselves. And there is a picture of it in the ice. That's pretty freaky. I would not want to open that either. Hi, Noelle. Given the February 24th, 1926. Given the significant discovery, we were at the makeshift runway before dawn. The storm hadn't let up, but the group acted as if cold were a foreign concept. They cleared a landing area with a fervor more unsettling than the wind and snow, like wolves that had finally scented meat. This was different. No longer abstract magnetic readings, no fleeting auroral signals. This was physical, something that could be studied, measured, taken back to civilization in exchange for fame. The plane brought back 3 specimens. They were heavier than expected. Rourke even scrambled a second transport, stripping all seats from the cabin to fit the bulky cargo. The overloaded landing gear groaned on the ice, a sound that set teeth on edge. The cautious taxi made it seem they carried not rocks, but unstable nitroglycerin. I pushed to the front of the crowd, eager to see our academic prize, but when I finally stood before those things, the cheer in my throat died, strangled by a cold hand. They stood about 7 feet tall, thick enough that 2 men could barely reach around. The outer layer was indeed ice-locked, but not ice as we knew it. It was a murky, almost greasy, semi-transparent, crystal, like thick amniotic fluid, or a gelatin secreted by some organism, encasing what lay within in a state of perpetual dampness. I stared a second too long. My stomach twisted with physical revulsion. My brain tried to correct the visual input, insisting it was just refraction, but my retina screamed, because the light inside that crystal flowed. It wasn't reflected light obeying physics, but a slow, viscous pulsing, like severed limbs still twitching after death. My tongue turned sour. No words came. Only a few stark impressions burned into my mind. A dormant chrysalis. I remembered the distorted cry from the radio. God, they're glowing! Glowing in the ice! Oh, goodness. Oh my gosh, the 15-stream streak! Look at that. Yeah, look at... Those are, Yeah, those are a little creepy. I also would not... You know, maybe we should leave them where they are. I forced down the ripple of unease, making myself think like a doctor. Stay calm, Rodrigo. The mystery is just nature not yet dissected. The expedition team declared this a major victory. They set the 3 specimens at the center of the main camp, fenced them with wooden stakes, and posted guards. But I noticed whenever sled dogs were led past that area, the unusually fierce animals tucked their tails, bellies lowed the snow, whining almost pitifully. Animals didn't understand science, but they could smell danger. A feeling began to form, vague but persistent. We should have listened to the professor yesterday. Perhaps we never should have brought these things back. My brain refused to process what my retina sent back. They resembled neither rock nor organic remains. They evoked only one word: blasphemy. I was about to step back when Neil called out, "Ricci, stand over there." His voice came from behind the camera. "I need a size reference. You'll do fine. Help me out." I stood frozen, looking at the dark lens in the viewfinder, then at the huge, murky, glowing chrysalis beside it. Stand next to that thing? My feet felt nailed to the snow. No. Just then, an expedition member walked over. Heavy leather gloves, casual appraising look. He reached out and rapped the ice-locked surface twice with his knuckles. Thump. Thump. The sound was dull, not like striking ice, more like thick leather or cartilage. For a moment, I felt those knocks didn't land on ice, but traveled straight to my eardrums. Don't touch! I didn't realize I'd spoken, not a shout, but a twisted warning forced from my throat. The man's hand froze midair. He turned and stared at me like I was a freak, a mocking grin spreading. Relax, college boy. He patted the chrysalis surface again. Hey, this thing's still sleeping. Low laughter rippled around. No one argued. Their smiles held the condescension reserved for jumpy amateurs. They turned back, pointing and commenting. I stood in the wind, staring at the spot he'd struck. Not my imagination. Inside that murky crystal, the slowly floating light had paused, just for an instant. This gives me such a The Thing vibe. Yeah. I could see it. As the pocket watch ticked past midnight, the wind shifted. The camp's chilly air gave way to a sharply pungent smell. At first, it resembled concentrated chemical solvent, acrid, throat-stinging, then it gained a nauseating undertone, damp rot, tar, and a sweet, sick musk like that of spoiled perfume. It wasn't just foul, it was clinging. It smeared across my face, crawled into my nostrils, coated my throat. I nearly gagged. Outside, the dogs erupted. Not warning barks, but a trembling, guttural whine, as if they saw a predator no human sense could detect. Amelia and I rushed out. Most sled dogs scrambled backward. Only the lead dog, Boss, didn't move. He crouched in the snow, front claws dug deep into the ice, trembling violently, yet still baring his teeth toward the fence-off area. I could see his gums split and bleeding from the strain. His eyes reflected pure terror. "Boss, come back!" I reached for his collar to drag him inside. As I did, my boot toe nudged a patch of snow in front of him. A soft splash. Liquid. I froze. The temperature was negative 25 degrees Celsius. My breath frosted instantly. Spit hit the ground as ice. In that absolute freeze, how could there be liquid? So I raised the lantern. My mind went blank. It wasn't snow. It was a puddle of translucent, greasy, unfrozen slime. Nearly invisible unless lit. That stench tormenting us all night emanated from it. The fluid gleamed sickly under the weak light, its edges slowly but steadily creeping outward. I looked up, tracing its path. The foul liquid flowed from the direction of the fenced-off fossils. Amelia and I walked a few steps closer, peering at the three chrysalises standing in the dark. Still encased in thick ice, motionless, but my eyes weren't lying. Their hard, murky crystalline surfaces now shimmered with a wet, oily sheen. A thought that defied physics crawled into my mind. In this negative 25 degrees Celsius frozen hell, they were melting. And had they shrunk? That night, Professor Romanova and Rourke called an emergency meeting. The tent air felt thick. The smell of rot and tar still clung to my nasal passages, but when I looked around the crowded space, I saw no disgust or fear. Instead, my classmates and even the hardened expedition men under Rourke wore faces flushed with excitement. Our report that the specimens were melting didn't trigger alarm. It was raw meat.
Calls for a change in my form.
Ooh.
Dealer's choice. Have fun with it.
All right, let's roll a d10. I have an icy one, which I guess works, given that we're in Antarctica. That is a 3. So let's see which model that is. Well, it's actually my pre-debut model, so look at that. Okay. All right. Okay. Our report that the specimens were melting didn't trigger alarm. It was raw meat thrown to sharks. The discussion split into two camps. Everyone used a rigorous academic language to mask a raw, primitive greed. "We must dissect on site, immediately," a graduate student slammed the table. "You heard it. The specimens are undergoing unexplained thermodynamic degradation. If we wait until Arkham, we may have nothing but organic soup." "Right," one of Rourke's men, reeking of smoke, licked his lips. "I don't give a damn about thermodynamics, I just know the damn thing's shrinking. If it melts away, who pays our bonus? Boss, right? We should crack it open now." Other students countered. "Crude. There's no sterile environment here. On-site dissection will contaminate the samples. They must be sealed, frozen, sent to the nearest lab." The argument grew louder. I sat in a corner, watching. It felt absurd. The terrified sled dogs, the liquid-defying Antarctic cold, all filtered out by the dual lures of fame and money. They weren't debating whether it was dangerous, but how to consume it while fresh. Oh my god, I haven't seen this form yet. This was my pre-debut model. This is when I first started VTubing, this is what I looked like. Enough. Professor Romanova's voice was quiet, but cut through the noise like a scalpel. She'd been seated at the head, holding the photos Neil took that day. Her eyes were as cold as the ice outside. First proposal? Rejected. She looked around the tent. No on-site dissection, no sampling. Tomorrow morning, everyone assist Rourke in loading the specimens onto the transport. "But Professor, the specimens are melting. We're losing them." The graduate student refused to relent. "But I think we can." "You think you can do something?" she interrupted, her tone unnervingly gentle. Can you become the next Galinder Amundsen? What kind of boba is your model drinking? Looks like just regular milk tea to me. Silence. As if all air had been sucked from the tent, that name was an invisible needle piercing everyone's vulnerability. The memory of that dissolved, unrecognizable body returned. The professor stood, hands on the table. Her green eyes held something obscure. The specimen's activity exceeds expectations. Dissecting here won't just ruin them, it will ruin more. She didn't explain what more meant. Instead, she turned to Rourke, who had been quietly cleaning his shotgun. Captain, your thoughts? Click. Rourke grinned, working the slide. That crisp, metallic sound became the meeting's final note. You heard the lady, he told his men, his gaze a clear warning. Anyone touches those things before they're shipped, I'll chop you up for dog. The crowd dispersed. Watching the professor leave, I breathed a little easier. February 25th, 1926. Morning. I spent the night mostly awake, not just because of the storm and the dogs whining, but because of the smell. That foul mixture of rot, tar, and musk thickened in the sealed tent, fermenting with every breath. Each inhale felt like greasy sludge coating my lungs. In the end, I buried my head under a reindeer hide, suffocating into a fitful sleep. At dawn, the wind stopped. I was woken by muffled groans. The tent was a wreck. Everyone looked sallow, dark circles under their eyes, as if they hadn't slept but endured intense interrogation. Senior Taylor was retching over a bucket. Julian clutched his temples, knuckles white. My head! Julian's voice was rough, like something drilled straight through my skull. Same. Taylor looked up, eyes bloodshot. I had a dream. No, it wasn't a dream. As they described the fragments, a chill crept up my spine, because they were dreaming the same scene. I was trapped, Taylor gestured shakily, in a hard, tight shell. No hands or feet, but I felt heavy. I was crawling, Julian cut in, his gaze vacant, dragging my belly over ice. I could feel the ice edges tearing my skin. Real pain. At first, they recalled hesitantly, but soon the accounts overlapped. Hurried, as if desperate to prove the pain's reality. They had both felt that cold rage. They had both heard the voice, not words, but a frequency vibrating in their bones. Hi, Oso! The sea. Taylor looked past me, dazed. It called us. Back to the sea. Then the ice cracked, Julian whispered. I fell into black water. The rage stopped, only hunger. I looked around. Everyone except Neil and me wore that same hollow, emptied-out expression. They no longer seemed like separate individuals, but like a row of receivers turned the same signal. Why were we the only exception? Neil saw it too. He was pale, forcing a dry smile. Sounds like you all turned into those 3 specimens and crawled off to drown yourselves. He might have meant it as a joke, but I saw only terror on Julian's face. Then the tent flap was thrown open. A night watch expedition man rushed in, face covered in snow, paler than Taylor. He trembled, mouth working until he choked out the words. Gone. Okay. Let me switch back. Okay. He pointed outside, his eyes shattered. The fence is empty. Those 3 specimens, they're gone. I practically bolted from the tent. Neil's joke echoed in my head like a curse. I had to see for myself that it was just a damn joke. We ran to the specimen area. There was no fence left. Thick wooden posts lay snapped. Wire mesh hung in shreds like fragile cobwebs. At the center of the wreckage, only empty depressions remained. They were gone. My eyes locked onto the snow, 3 wide, deeply pressed trails. Not straight lines like human dragging would leave, but twisted, rough, heavy patterns with ripples like muscle contractions, as if something massive and soft-bodied had crushed the barrier and simply rolled over the ice. I was crawling, dragging my belly over ice. Taylor's dream words returned. This scene matched their nightmare, 1-to-1. I followed the 3 trails, no struggle, no hesitation, no branching, just 3 stubborn paths crossing the camp boundary, grinding through ice ridges, heading straight toward the gloomy sea mist in the distance. How? Someone whispered, voice dry. Who could move tons of weight without a sound? No answer. Everyone who had dreamed last night stared pale-faced at the trails. Some began dry heaving. They didn't just see the marks, they felt the phantom pain of skin scraping ice. The expedition side fell into a different frenzy. Brian, the troublemaker, grabbed the Night Watch pilot by the collar, face contorted with rage. Where did they go? Tons of gold! How can they just vanish? Fly again! That's my money! Even if they're in the sea, drag them back! Greedy shouts echoed across the ice, shrill and absurd. They still spoke of money, machinery, theft. They refused to accept the fact defying all sense. Last night, there were no engine roars, no flight logs. No human machine could have moved those massive objects silently in a blizzard. Standing in the chaos, I saw Neil, rigid, staring at the trails leading to the sea, lips trembling, unable to speak. His joke had become truth. I didn't dare think deeper, didn't dare analyze. If humans stole them, that was a crime. But if they left on their own... That unnatural shape, that unsettling breathing, the twisted light from deep inside, were those really fossils? Or had we, from the beginning, mistaken the masters sleeping on this continent for trophies? Cognitive fracture. The world is no longer as it seemed. Who do you choose to believe? Do we choose the physical explanation or heed the ancient call? Since we got the Mark of Chaos last time, I think we should just keep going down the same chaos path. Just see what happens. So I'm gonna go for the heed the ancient call, so we gain another Mark of Chaos. A little bored. Okay. So currently we've got one, or do you think maybe I should keep it balanced? But I don't think that's as fun. I think we should just go full chaos for this run and just see what happens. Alright, so I gotta put another Mark of Chaos down on the board. So I'm gonna switch back to the top-down view so y'all can see the board here on the right. I have the other marks in the bag, so let me get that. We're getting another Mark of Chaos, because why not? Now we have 2. Look at that. Yippee! Our second Mark of Chaos, which, oh, I know y'all can't really see it there. So I put this second one down. So now we have 2 Marks of Chaos. Okay. So we've chosen to heed the ancient call. Those dreams were real. That light was real. They were never dead, only trapped. Now, with the ice melting, they followed an ancient call and left. Click. The chaos was cut short by that crisp, metallic sound. Rourke stood in the center of camp, expressionless, racking the slide of his Winchester shotgun. He didn't shout or explain. He simply aimed the barrel at the supply crates, his eyes cold as if looking at corpses. Eat, or crawl back to your tents and suck your thumbs. The spark of mutiny died, crushed by more immediate fear. Breakfast passed in suffocating silence. We sat on the edge of the wrecked snow, holding heated tins. I couldn't swallow. The clinging, tarry musk from last night hadn't faded. It seemed to seep into every biscuit, each bite taste of rancid grease and rusty pennies. I looked around, a cold dread in my stomach. Only hushed, strained whispers moved through the group. While handing out coffee, I edged closer to Brian, the troublemaker. He'd been the greediest, shouting last night about diving for gold. Now he stared at his own hands, trembling like someone with Parkinson's. What's wrong? I asked softly. So cold, he mumbled, gaze unfocused. Belly on the ice. So cold. But I can't stop. I straightened. Not just Taylor and Julian. Over 10 minutes, I had discreetly confirmed a chilling fact. Nearly everyone who slept last night had tuned into that frequency, except me, Neil, and perhaps Rourke, leaning on a crate, cleaning his gun. Why? I had to find the professor. Since last night's meeting, Professor Romanova had vanished. She hadn't helped quell the chaos, hadn't come for breakfast. I remembered her warning look, that question about resurrection. She knew something. I walked quickly toward her private tent, the most noticeable one in camp, its heavy crimson canvas like an unhealed wound on the pale waist. As I approached, I saw a thin, almost dissipated wisp of heat from the tin chimney on top. A bad sign in Antarctica. The stove was dying. Considering the camp state, I yanked the flap open. Professor? Empty. Cold as a tomb. Only stale, frigid air inside, mixed with a trace of distinctive Russian sobriety. No answer. Where was she? Unease made me step inside, checking the messy cot. In the dim light, my boots slammed hard into a heavy metal case by the table leg. So. The case was solid. Pain threw me off balance. I grabbed the table for support. A clatter. My elbow swept across the desktop, sending a pile of topographic maps and reports sliding to the ground. Oops, I forgot to switch back to the side view. Sorry. I sucked in a breath, crouched despite the pain, and began gathering the mess. Then my fingers touched the papers and I froze. Between the official geological reports that had been on the bottom lay in a black hardcover notebook, jarred loose by the impact. It lay open. In the faint light from the door flap, the writing was frantic, rushed, the pen almost tearing the paper with ink bleeding through. Undoubtedly Professor Romanova's hand, but nothing like her usual elegant, controlled script. This was ragged, manic, lines twisted and broken, elegant loops turned into sharp, jagged strokes as if carved into the paper. But what raised the hairs on my neck was the content. Wait, February 25th? Today? Someone died today? A student missing? But March 1st. When it happened, no one was ready. A student. Waltzed out of the tent. No one called him. He just left and never came back. Probably a statue of ice now. Never mind. March 1st. When the wind stops, I must board the plane at once. I've always known where to fly. I've always known coordinates. South 72.4 degrees, west 5.6 degrees. It's calling me. I saw it, a mountain, black, standing there, a dark peak, like a necrotic black finger stabbing the sky. Estimated height, 35,000 feet. Larger than the Himalayas, older, standing dead and silent at the end of the world. This is extremely enthralling, but my brain craves eep. Craves eep. Have a great stram, bird frem. Good night, everybody. Good night, Killer Flame. Click. A faint sound behind me. Not wind, but boots crushing snow at the entrance. A rush of freezing air filled the tent, thickening the familiar suffocating scent of Russian Sobranie. I spun around. Professor Romanova stood in the doorway. She wore her heavy polar parka, face pale under the hood, green eyes bloodshot, fixed on the notebook in my hand. I expected rage, interrogation, maybe even a drawn gun like Rourke would. But no. Her gaze passed through me as if I were furniture, or just another irrelevant rock in this damned ice. Give it to me. Her hand extended, voice rough as if swallowing gravel. Professor, what's written here? I stepped back, holding the notebook up instead of handing it over. A student missing today? Who? And this date? March 1st? It's the 25th. What are you writing? She didn't answer, only stepped closer. The pressure made me blurt out the rest. And the things outside, those 3 chrysalises are gone. Everyone dreamed the same, turning into something soft and crawling into the sea. Professor, if you know anything, even a little. Crawling into the sea. She stopped. For a moment, the ice in her expression cracked. She showed no shock at the missing fossils, no fear at the mass hysteria. Instead, her face held a look of intense, almost academic bewilderment. The sea, she murmured, nails scraping the tabletop unconsciously, a sound that set teeth on edge. No, that doesn't align. The vector is reversed. What? I stared. The call they heard came from below. She looked up, her eyes burning with a light that chilled me. But what I hear comes from above. She snatched the notebook from my hands, tearing a corner. Flipping to the frantic entry, her trembling finger traced the lines about the black mountain as if touching scripture. Like you said, Mr. Ricci, I also dreamed. She stared at the words, a faint, nervous smile touching her lips. But I didn't crawl towards the sea. I flew. I dreamed I was flying toward that peak. Those are my coordinates. It's waiting for me. My mouth opened, my throat felt blocked. A growing dread told me she might board a plane for those coordinates any second. Professor, I tried to pull her back. Why are you still here? She tilted her head, the dim kerosene lamp carving her face into fragments. For an instant, her left side seemed cold as ice, her right shrouded in deep shadow, the corner of her mouth holding that nervous smile. For a moment, I wasn't sure. Was she dismissing me or speaking to a shadow only she could see? Since those 3 things vanished, the whispering glaciers stopped whispering. They roared. The blizzard pinned us down like a white iron curtain. For 3 days, no one left their tents. No one mentioned that night. The storm halted all research. Expensive theodolites and spectrographs lay under canvas like abandoned corpses. We huddled inside, activity reduced to eating, sleeping, survival. The air grew thick with the sweat of a dozen men, damp wool, and the sour, sharp stink of unspoken dread. No one brought up the fossils. I didn't tell anyone about the strange, impossible notebook. I tried writing, to fight the maddening stillness, but the pen's ink grew viscous in the cold, each word clotting like dried blood. Scrape. The sleeping bag behind me shifted. Senior Taylor woke. He moved slowly, reluctant to leave the warmth, and finally emerging halfway. "Still scribbling in that junk journal, Ricci?" he said while fumbling tobacco into his pipe. His favorite mint blend, unusually fresh, smelled sharp and intrusive in the stagnant air. He caught my expression, waved the smoke away, and gave a rough laugh. "Shouldn't have come. Should have stayed in Boston with some lobster bisque. Thought Antarctica meant at least hunting a few seals." Seals. Those limbless creatures sliding on their bellies over the ice. He stopped short, as if not saying it would stop his mind from connecting it to those three things. "Yeah," I tried to respond, but before I could finish, he snuffed the barely lit pipe, turned his back, and burrowed deep into the sleeping bag. "Going back to sleep." His voice was muffled. Outside, the snow choked all visibility. Standing at the tent entrance, I felt nailed to the bottom of a vast white coffin. The pale, murky sky seemed to be closing overhead. The endless blizzard made me wonder if we were already buried alive. I tried to remember something, my father's cigar smoke, my younger sister's bright smile, to fight the emptiness, but the memories froze the moment they surfaced, shattered by the cold air of despair and kerosene. And Professor Romanova was in worse shape than me. Her tent wasn't far. I tried checking on her a few times. Whether because of the storm or not, she'd stopped hiding her inhuman agitation over these 3 days. She paced inside her tent like a caged animal, her field notebook crumpled in her grip. She ignored us, fixated only on those coordinates, as if the mountain from her dreams had become her sole obsession. Then, on the afternoon of the 3rd day, without warning, the storm stopped, as if someone hit mute from outside the atmosphere. Silence. Instant and absolute. Just as I thought I could finally breathe, Professor Romanova pushed her flap open and stepped out. She didn't check the time or the wind. She just scanned the camp with bloodshot eyes and said, "We leave now." I expected protest, at least a curse. But no, at the command, the camp woke. People still in sleeping bags began moving without hesitation. Zippers, buckles, the rustle of packing, all blended, yet the most expected sound was missing. Complaint. No cursing, no yawning, no "Where are we going?" Taylor, Amelia, Julian, they moved with stiff efficiency, heads down. They didn't look newly awake, more like they'd been waiting in the dark for this order. This wasn't normal. 3 days of confinement, aftermath of the shared hysteria, nothing definite, but the excessive compliance chilled me. I had no time to think. I tried to stop her. "Professor, you're joking. Our target is the Amundsen site. The sun is about to hit its lowest point, and the light is terrible. Even with the wind down, the air isn't stable. Flying now is suicide. If you're afraid, stay here." She cut me off, looking at me as if I were an obstacle, not a threat, a statement. She truly didn't care. I clenched my jaw, had to change tactics. I looked around but saw only faces frozen numb by the storm. I didn't see Neil, the one with the camera. Fortunately, I spotted Rourke. He stood outside his tent, a pipe in his mouth. He seemed to be studying me. Or maybe these agitated, too quiet students. I went over quickly, keeping my voice low. "Rourke, if we take off now, your plane, your fuel, your men, they'll all end up on that glacier." That worked where reason failed. Rourke narrowed his eyes, thought a moment, cursed, and strode toward the professor. I don't know what they said, but they reached a compromise. Departure postponed until dawn. Watching the students not show relief, but simply return to their tents like unplugged puppets, I felt no ease at all. Watching the students, my hand went to the notebook hidden inside my coat. That date I'd glimpsed. March 1st. Fate circled like a vicious joke. No matter how we struggled, we were being pushed toward that fixed day. Alright, archive unlocked. Professor Romanova, part 2. So I'm going to scratch off on her profile. I feel like I should be getting prizes for this, but all I get is unsettling knowledge. Alright, so I'm going to switch the top camera so you can watch the exciting look of me scratching. These are her innate traits. Interesting. Right. I'm gonna just scrape off this little scratch off part into the trash cans. Give me a moment. Okay, so her traits seem to be frozen fanaticism, absolute ends, usurper of flesh, and motherland matryoshka. I don't like the sound of any of those. It's just great. That's our professor. It's our mentor, that crazy lady. But yeah, and then you can see a picture on the right side of the tent in the snow. Doesn't look great. Okay, so let's go back to the side view. Cool, cool. Try to zoom in or get the camera in a little bit more. I got a very nice look at my Labubu. Hang on. There we go. I'm just trying to move the camera in a bit more. Haha. Okay, March 1st, 1926. Departure. I boarded that plane eventually. I told myself I came to Antarctica for research. Risk was part of the journey. Professor Romanova's overzealous attitude was just a scholar's lapse near the truth. But when my backside hit the cold leather seat, my body trembled more honestly than my mind. The cabin reeked of antifreeze and unburned fuel. My fellow students, whether from excitement or something else, still spoke little. Each was strapped tightly into their seat, faces holding a sacrificial resolve. With a roar, the propellers spun. The plane shook, taxied over rough ice, and lurched into the air. We flew over the white waste. I pressed my forehead against the frosted window. The world below looked sickly, bloodless pale. Sometime later, at the edge of that pallor, black appeared. For a moment, I forgot to breathe. Pure physiological awe. Not the mad description from the professor's diary, but a real, suffocating black wall. It stood at the end of our path. Countless dark, knife-sharp peaks pierced the clouds, stabbing the sky. An absolute barrier of rock and ice, the black mass like rows of massive, uneven dragon's teeth, tearing through the once gentle, white horizon. Pale mist wrapped the slopes like bandages, unable to hide the terrifying steepness. It was too vast, too sharp. Before it, our plane felt like a suicidal insect flying towards an execution wall of black iron. Here it is. Let me see if I can turn it so you can see the whole page. There, it is a triple pager. A high-pitched whine cut through my thoughts. Mayday! Engine losing power! The pilot's shout was drowned in a screech of tearing metal. Not shot down, not out of fuel. The plane seemed caught in the mountain's magnetic pull. The engine choked like a suffocating beast. The propeller RPM dropped. The aircraft lost lift, plunging like iron towards the ice hummocks below. Brace! No explosion, only a long, grinding screech of metal. The landing gear snapped on impact. The fuselage skidded hundreds of meters across the rough ice, shaking my insides to paste. A final, dull thud. Silence. I unbuckled, stumbled from the twisted door. Cold air filled my lungs, carrying an ancient, sealed for eons scent. Miraculously, no one died. The plane was wrecked, propellers bent, wings broken, but the main cabin remained mostly intact. I moved to check the others, but Professor Romanova was already standing in the snow. She ignored us climbing from the wreckage, ignored the ruined plane. She stood there, lit a cigarette, and inhaled deeply. Wind whipped her heavy coat. She looked up, eyes locked on that impossible black peak in the distance. No relief after survival, only a quiet homecoming. Set up camp, she exhaled a smoke ring, her voice soft as a sigh. We're here. South 72.4 degrees, west 5.6 degrees. That coordinate was an invisible anchor, dragging us into the shadow of these black mountains. The crash's shock still echoed in my skull. My fingers spasmed uncontrollably. A dull ache spread from my ribs. My stomach churned. Classic concussion symptoms. I stumbled from the wreckage. Gagging. Not far off, Neil knelt in the snow, vomiting violently. The raw sound was a comfort, a living human's response. Beside him, Rourke clutched his bleeding forehead, cursing the weather and the plane with the filthiest words he knew, but the others were wrong. 22 of the students and expedition crew climbed out. Some had split lips, others injured limbs, but no one groaned or trembled like Neil. Their reactions were too slow. Bye, Zach! Hey, you okay? I grabbed the nearest student, a graduate researcher, to check his condition. Several seconds passed before his eyes slowly turned. His pupils were dilated, but not unfocused. He looked at me as if through thick, frosted glass. Ricci, he mumbled, wiping a cut on his face with sluggish fingers. Fine. Don't block. Need to camp. It felt as if their pain receptors were wrapped in thick cotton. They could still feel pain, hear me, but every sensory response was filtered through a heavy, dull numbness. Camp setup began in that strange atmosphere. Rourke and I tried to direct, but soon realized it wasn't needed. These sluggish people, though slow to react, moved with uncanny coordination. They spread out silently, moving supplies, driving stakes, pulling ropes. No orders, no complaints. Only the sound of labored breathing and ice axes striking frozen ground. Neil and I exchanged a look. We both saw the chill in each other's eyes. On this dead, silent ice plain under the black peaks, we few normal ones, still grimacing with pain, felt like the outsiders. Take a sip. Okay. March 2nd, 1926. Okay. The camp's atmosphere finally became unbearable. That synchronized inhuman efficiency was no longer just visual, it had become an actual frequency. Dozens of people breathing, swinging axes, even blinking, all overlapped, forming a constant, oppressive silence. It seeped into my lungs like fine grit, every breath feeling like inhaling someone else's exhaust. I was being crushed by this perfect order. I needed air, even a brief escape. I didn't grab supplies, just moved instinctively away from those metronome-like figures, even just to the edge of camp, to hear the messy wind. Following the wind, I reached the camp's leeward side, the place for dumping ashes and waste. On the blinding white plain, the dark slag stood out like an ugly scar. I turned to leave, but my eyes caught a pale yellow edge in the ashes. A torn, crumpled edge of paper, half buried in partially frozen cinders. Its edges showed clear scorch marks. Someone had tried to burn it, but a sudden downdraft or haste left it only singed, and I glimpsed familiar handwriting along the edge, ragged, manic, jagged strokes. I crouched, digging the paper out. It had frozen brittle, crackling sharply as I unfolded it. In the faint light, I recognized that familiar sharp-edged script, a page torn from the professor's notebook. Narrative artifact archived. Porn diary. Okay. -4 sanity. Just automatically? Cool. That's great. I'm down to 50 sanity. Alright, that is artifact number 9. So I'm gonna need to get it and then go from there. Place the fragment here to reconstruct the diary. Oh, we literally have to reconstruct it. Okay. Put it on my board. Oh, I know what it's supposed to look like because the sticker shows it all like constructed. So let me put the sticker onto the board, and then we will go top down to reconstruct that mother fragment. Okay, so this is artifact number 9. Well, the artifact sticker does show it all put together, but it looks like a pretty straightforward little puzzle. Okay, I'm going to put the notebook flat because I do not want to do this from the side, and then we'll switch to the top-down view. Let me move the sand scope out of the way. We gotta do some reconstruction. A little puzzle. Alright, so... Alright. Okay, so here we go. I'm blocking it a little bit, so sorry. Okay, so we need to reconstruct this letter. That's great. Okay, I have my little sticker tweezers, which I think will be very useful for this. Here we go. Alright, well this looks like the bottom right-hand corner, because it's right side up and there's the corner, so it's a puzzle, so we'll start with the corner pieces. Okay. We can get the bottom. I think this one goes here. Start from there and just connect our way up. Wow, this is nice and interactive. Okay. I guess they gave me a little extra space so I didn't have to like overlap them, but that's okay. This is the bottom left-hand corner. Okay, yeah, the way this box looks, I thought that it was going to take up the whole width, but it doesn't, but that's okay. It's next because of the red. Okay. Shit, I think this is the next piece here. Okay, now comes the... I think this is the next part. Yep, up the left side. Best I can. The something is left. I think this is, yep, because this slopes down, so I think this is the next piece on the left. Ooh. Well, this is, the parts that I can read so far are kind of creepy. Okay, so this looks like the upper left-hand corner. And this is the top center. There are more pieces. I don't know, maybe we don't have all... No, we do have all the pieces, because like I said, the sticker that went on the board is like fully recreated, so there might be another cup. Hi, Sunset! Oops, no. Oh. Ugh. Well, that is stuck pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix that. Try to delicately fix it. Oh, goodness. Should have tried to stuck it from the top where the space is. Some of the paper is ripping a little bit. I'll just be careful. Okay. Ooh, just a little bit. Okay. You're going back down anyways. Okay, that's better. Okay. Yeah, are there more pages? is this? Nope, that's it. That doesn't look like it's gonna fit everything, does it? Okay, well, it must, because there's no more pieces. There's no more pieces. Okay. This is a really big piece. Oh, never mind. Those last two pieces are just really big. Okay, I believe I have reconstructed the letter. Here we go. So it's hard to read her handwriting, even the best of times, but I'll do my best. So it says, March 2nd, the dogs and horses are dead. The cold night harvested them. No matter, there are still men to drive. Flesh is merely a resource. Fear cuts deeper than the whip. With a unified will, broken men serve as well as livestock. Their fate is irrelevant. I will reach it. I will reach it. I will reach it. Good night, pigeon. Isn't that a wonderful note that you're leaving off on? This beautiful, very positive note that Professor Romanova wrote? That's great. Real positive. Real great. Okay. Let's back up. That was really fun, and, you know, put that all together. That was neat. Yeah, I like how it looks, because it's all stickers, right? So, you know, it looks really cool. That's creepy. That's way better than it being just a picture of it. I don't know. I thought it was really neat putting it all together like that. Very, very cool. I do wish the sticker had looked like this, because I think the sticker being like the thing reconstructed is a little lame. Because then you know exactly what it's supposed to look like. Which takes the puzzle out of it a little bit, but still, pretty neat. Hi, Vane! Seal shattered. I have seal key number 1. You savage a heavy key. First seal key. Oh, all the keys are numbered. Oh, shoot. Okay. There's seal key number 1. Here, so y'all can see it. I put it on the board. Oh, sorry, accidentally. Yep. So far our board looks like this. We've got the seal key and we've got 2 marks of chaos. That's where we're at currently. What does all that mean? Who knows? But that is where we're at. And we're at 50 sanity presently. Which is not ideal. No, not great. Okay. I stuffed the torn papers into my inner pocket like holding a hot iron. I had to return. In negative 30 degrees Celsius polar conditions, going independent without supplies meant suicide. I gritted my teeth and forced myself back into that precisely ticking nightmare. In camp, the sickening synchronization continued. Everyone moved like wound-up toys, precise, vacant. I tried calling a few names. Only blank stares passed through me. I needed allies. I found Neil first. He was crouched behind a fuel drum and a windbreak, frantically wiping his camera lens. Neil? He flinched, didn't look up, and just rubbed the glass harder. Won't come clean. Can't focus. Black spots. His pupils were dilated, his fingers white-knuckled. My heart sank. He wasn't assimilated, but terror had blown his fuse. That left Rourke. I found him in the lee of a snow wall, examining the wrecked plane's engine, face grim, cigar stub dead in his mouth. I didn't waste words. I pulled him out of sight and quickly outlined the diary's mismatched date, the pre-known mountain coordinates, and the scrap calling people livestock. Rourke listened intently. No shock, no doubt. When I finished, he silently pulled a notebook from inside his coat and handed it to me. Professor Romanova's notebook. She tossed it. Rourke watched me. I picked it up. I understood. For some reason, the professor wanted it destroyed, first tearing pages to burn, then discarding the whole thing. I tried flipping it, but snow melt had soaked and refrozen the pages into a solid brick, so only the cover with Romanova's surname was still legible. So, Rourke spat out the cigar stub, voice rough. That bitch never cared if the plane crashed. She just needed us to get her here. I took a sharp breath. Rourke, if we don't stop her, we're the next livestock. Stop? With what? He gave a cold laugh, nodding toward the white waste. Plane scrap, radio's dead, nearest depot's 800 kilometers. Kill her? Tie her up? Then what? Walk back with these zombies who only listen to her? His words doused my last spark of impulse. Listen, Ricci. He leaned close, the smell of gunpowder and sweat mixing. We're on the same sinking ship. Want to live? Shut up. Act like you know nothing. Act? Right. Act like we're part of that damn hive. His hand rested on his holster, eyes sharp as blades. As long as she needs us working, we're safe. Until we find a chance, or... I read the ruthlessness in his gaze. I opened my mouth, but the wind seemed to freeze my words. Rourke turned and walked away before I could speak. Watching him go, I remembered Galinder Admundson's twisted, melted body. A question I never dared ask surfaced. If we were truly trapped here, would we end up like Amundsen? Frozen deep in the ice, next unexplained specimen for future finders. Sealed file number 3, but we do not have the matching seal key for it, so unfortunately we just continue on. Okay. Alright. Sip of water. March 3rd, 1926. Those scraps of paper dug from the ashes proved true. That morning I woke to a strong, hot smell of iron. It seeped through the tent seams, alien in the negative 30 degrees Celsius air. I crawled outside. Our dogs and horses were dead. They lay stiff-legged in the snow, eyes bulging with hemorrhaged blood, frozen dark-eyed, dark red foam at their muzzles. Not disease, not freezing. From the rigor mortis, they looked as if some immense, unseen terror had shattered their hearts and lungs in an instant. But more chilling than the deaths were the living. No mourning, no panic. Amelia, who'd been closest to the animals and had knitted a blanket for the gray-furred dog, now stood by the corpses holding a thick supply list, expressionless, tallying. The expedition crew reacted with equal detachment. They moved with practiced efficiency, wielding curved knives, opened bellies, cutting, wrapping, salvaging edible flesh. The soft thuds of blades, biting frozen meat, froze and fell in the silent snow. I felt sick. Yesterday, those animals were partners and guardians. Today, they had become cold entries on a protein supply list. Neil and I stood frozen in the wind. We exchanged a look, neither speaking. My hand went to the inner pocket that held the unburned page. Sure enough, before the bodies were fully processed, Professor Romanova's voice cut through. She didn't glance at the blood, only looked toward the black mountains and delivered the script already written. The livestock are dead. To avoid delay, men will pull the sledges. No one objected, not even a second's hesitation for human dignity. Taylor, Julian, and the burly expedition men silently set down the meat, picked up the leather harnesses meant for horses and dogs. With soft clicks of buckles, they strapped themselves in. For a moment, the wind and snow seemed to stop. Watching those hunched backs, I felt the line from the paper, "Men work as well as livestock," became bloody reality. Snow fell silently. The professor led from the front. Whether by will or survival instinct, everyone followed without question. 23 of us, taking turns in the harnesses, moved like a herd of silent beasts into the unknown ice. But where were we going? March 4th, 1926. It was now 8:45 p.m. on March 4th. At this latitude, the sun could still be hanging high above the horizon, yet the sky had gone completely black. The blizzard was pressing from behind. The thick indigo cloud layer along the horizon had collapsed like an inverted abyss, slowly and greedily swallowing the last light on this waste. Rourke, Neil, and I moved among the ranks. We wear harnesses, kept our heads down, and stepped mechanically, mimicking the livestock in a deliberate synchrony to hide our awareness. Things were worsening. The radio was dead. We were an island. The ice underfoot was fragile. Each step brought a crack from the depths with a 100-meter fissure or an empty chamber. We were roped together. One slip could drag the whole chain into hell. But we couldn't abandon supplies unless we wanted to freeze tonight. Past that ice wall ahead, there's shelter. Professor Romanova's voice cut through the storm, unnervingly certain. She led, never checking, as if the storm avoided her. No one argues. I couldn't tell if it was fear or if their minds have lost the ability to doubt. Finally, we rounded the ice wall. It was that moment the world went dead. The storm's roar hit an invisible wall and stops. No transition, no echo. The air grew dense, heavy, pressing on the eardrums. No wind, no biting cold, only a vacuum-like, ear-ringing, absolute silence. We set up camp in this narrow lee. Even though hands and feet were numb, no one groans. Each rope pulled tight, each stake driven, felt precise like a silent funeral. Humanity seemed peeled away by the storm, leaving only survival instinct. And there they are. As time slipped into the early hours, the blizzard's roar dulled to a low growl behind the ice wall. Rourke and I crouched in the shadow of the supply tent, avoiding the walking dead outside. "Listen, kid." Rourke's voice was low, his gloved hand gripping my shoulder hard as a warning. "Whatever happens, keep your pity to yourself. Don't try to wake them." "Why?" "It's like defusing a bomb." His eyes held a battlefield-honed ruthlessness. "I've seen that look in the trenches. Shell shock. When the mind cuts its own fuse to protect itself, if you force a current, they don't wake up. They blow. Either attack you or go completely mad." He leaned closer, teeth showing. "If you play hero and try shaking anyone awake, I'll break your limbs first. Clear?" I nodded, forcing myself to think like a doctor. I lowered my voice, sharing the analysis I'd been piecing together. I've been thinking about the cause. It's contact. Back at camp, without exception, they all touched those 3 fossils up close. They all handled the ice. I looked at him, eager to confirm. And the 3 of us, you, Neil, and I, for different reasons, never touched them. I watched him, hoping the discovery would stir something, but he just stared, eyes unreadable. Wrong. He paused, gaze fixed on Professor Romanova's red tent in the distance. "There's her, Romanova." He seemed to bite her name between his teeth. "That crazy bitch didn't touch them either. She was more careful than anyone, almost disgusted. She knew what those things were from the start." The words hit like ice water, sharpening my thoughts. I remembered her strange question about resurrection, then her stern warning against touch. How, soon after arriving, she seemed to know something, not exploring the unknown, but verifying a script she already knew, leading to this madness. If even she hadn't touched them, then what was the vector? The aurora? The frequency? The dream that linked them all? Rourke was thinking deeper. He turned the knife in his hands. Its edge gleamed coldly in the dim light. "This trip," he said softly, more a verdict to himself than to me, "was never research." He looked up, his expression holding a grim, death-tinted absurdity. "She isn't here to study, Ricci. She's here to arrive. How many she has brought, how many have died along the way." He sneered. "To her, we are no different from those dead dogs and horses, just fuel to drag her to the finish line. Disposable." So what was the professor's goal? Frustrated, I pulled out the surviving torn page again. I had pieced it together, knew its mad ramblings about livestock and driving by heart. No further clues. Just as I was about to put it away, Rourke stopped me. "Don't move." He squinted. "Turn it over. Hold it against the fire. Look at the back." I paused, doing as he asked, raising the fragment toward the flickering flames. The orange glow pierced the aged paper. I drew a sharp breath. Beneath the light, the paper was no longer a flat surface, but a scarred skin. The mad ramblings on the front faded into blurry shadows, while hidden marks emerged, not ink, but indentations from the page above. The writer had driven the pen with such frenzy, with such force, that the tip nearly chiseled through, branding the words into the fibers of the sheet beneath. Backlit, these grooves appeared like pale, inkless carvings. I leaned closer to the fire, squinting to decipher them. Source. Core. And at the very bottom, a massive line of text, seemingly gouged in by a fingernail, spanned the entire width of the page. It looked like a silent scream. "Find ice crystal." You can see it there. On the back of the page, source, core, find ice crystal. My fingers felt cold. Ice crystal? Rourke released his hold, face dark as the night outside. He didn't elaborate, just ground out the words. "Seems like we finally know what she's after." He turned, his gaze piercing the heavy canvas, fixed on that crimson tent in the distance, eyes sharp as blades. "She doesn't care about fossils. Doesn't care about the aurora. She dragged us here, no matter how many die, to dig out that damn ice crystal." But none of us knew what ice crystal meant. Could it have been tied to the 3 fossils from camp? The word settled like ice in my gut. We had to keep following her to find it. But after that, I had to stop her. A feeling told me that when that ice crystal saw daylight again, fuel might not even leave ashes behind. We set off again. I wasn't sure whether weeks or just days had passed. In this permanent pallor, the concept of time had worn thin like my boot soles. As we climbed, fractured ice filled the rock crevices, not natural crystallization, more like this frozen land suffering gangrene, constantly rotting and multiplying. At first, I thought they were ice-locked fossils, but staring for a moment showed they weren't. Inside the transparent shells were masses of murky organic matter. Some resembled unclosed, malformed vertebra. Others looked like dark, membrane-wrapped organs still faintly pulsing. They lay in a state of half-incubation, as if a slight rise in temperature would make those flesh clots stir inside their translucent amniotic fluid. The air held a suffocating smell. It was sweet rot mixed with stale iron. Even with the scarf over my face, it crawled into my lungs. And the living began deteriorating. Supplies dwindled, food, kerosene, all running low. To sustain warmth, the group started eating the dead sled dogs and ponies. I refused my ration, chewing the last hard biscuits from my pocket. I couldn't. Not just because I saw their still bulging eyes in their not because I still saw their bulging eyes in the dark red meat, but as a doctor, I feared ingesting lesions. I noticed Neil, who had eaten the meat, was losing the light in his eyes faster. Taylor, Amelia, and the expedition men, they showed no resistance to the meat. Lightly heated, they chewed and swallowed mechanically. No disgust, no gratitude. The nature of the group had changed completely. No one spoke of the Aurora. No one mentioned research. We just walked, unceasingly. Professor Romanova led with a compass, but she didn't watch the needle. Her gaze fixed on a point in the void, as if following an umbilical cord only she could see stretching from the horizon. The others trailed behind. She sped up, they sped up. She stopped, they stopped. Steps matched, breathing synchronized. I could no longer call this an expedition. Their eyes were hollow, lips chapped. They looked more like sleepwalkers who had passed some sacred inspection, queuing toward their sole destination. Neil, Rourke, and I were likely the only heretics left in this procession. We moved with them in that dead silence, pretending. Endure, Rodrigo, I told myself. Only endurance offered a chance to live. Endure until that legendary core ice crystal appeared before me. March 15th, 1926, ? Time had necrotized on this waste. Light held no warmth, shadows no longer moved. We seemed sealed in a vast, murky ice sheet, walking toward a terminusless eternity. Neil's tether finally snapped. Just as the profession started forward again, he let out a sharp cry, lunged at Taylor at the front, and grabbed him wildly. "Wake up, you damn! Wake up!" His shout tore through the silence. "Stop! We'll die!" But what answered him wasn't confusion. Several expedition men ahead stopped and turned at once, expressionless, movements synchronized, not a human brawl, but more like white blood cells surrounding an invader, efficient, cold, lethal. Neil was pinned to the ice, choking. A heavy boot rose over his temple, ready to stomp. Save him! Instinct made me rush forward, ready to shout stop, but reason jabbed me. Useless. I might pull one away, but not this fused hive. In that flash, a desperate idea surfaced. I stopped abruptly, didn't pull. Instead, I stood still, imitating Professor Romanova's flat, icy tone, and barked at those blank backs. No time to waste. I kept my voice low, stripped of urgency or fear, leaving only a mechanical, undeniable command. Don't waste effort on insects. Keep moving. The air froze for a second. The impossible happened. The boot paused, mid-air. The men holding Neil looked up at me. Their eyes held nothing, like a logic check. After a few seconds, they seemed to confirm the command matched the highest priority, moving forward. Silently, they released Neil, brushed snow from themselves, and returned to the line as if nothing had happened. I stood rigid, sweat chilling my back. At the front, Professor Romanova seemed to pause, glanced back. Her gaze felt like observing a lab rat finally learning to navigate the maze. No time for her stare. I stumbled toward Neil, still sprawled on the ice. Neil, my voice was rough. It's over. Get up. Slap. He knocked my hand away, scrambling backward on hands and feet, shaking violently. I saw his eyes. Not the look of a friend, not even a rescued man's gaze. It held fear and strangeness, the way he looked at the sleepwalkers in the line. I'd acted too well. In that moment, all I saw in Neil's eyes was a deep, pure terror of me. I didn't know how long I could last. After that, Neil retreated to the back of the line. He kept his distance. Whenever I glanced back, he'd flinch, shoulders hunched, as if afraid I'd speak again with that inhuman tone. I couldn't blame him. Remembering those words I'd forced from my throat chilled me. That cold, cruel sound. It still felt like rotten silt coating my tongue. Was I acting? Or had I, for a few moments, been assimilated too? Worse, in this half-dazed state, I noticed something critical. Rourke was gone. No farewell, no call for help, no body. Wiped clean from the white waste. I searched frantically behind each frost-covered mask. No sign of him. I checked the snow. One set of tracks. The Pilgrim's unnervingly even troughs. Another set was Neil's dragging, chaotic steps. But Rourke's prints weren't there. Impossible. A living man couldn't vanish without wind-driven snow to cover his tracks. Unless he'd left earlier or found a path we couldn't see. Panic should have flooded me, but I felt only a dull numbness. My mouth opened, but no sound came. Large, dark spots gloomed at the edges of my vision. Retinal hypoxia. Only white snow and black rock remained. Even my breath felt frozen in jelly. On this one-way road to hell, I was completely alone. Hi, Chichin! Okay, so we have unlocked Rodrigo's level 2 innate trait, so I'm a little scared. But let's see. Hey, camera, do you still love him? Just checking. Yep. Cool. At least you're consistent. Okay, so we're going to scratch off the coin, which is... Ooh, okay. Hope you guys are... Everyone's still here? Y'all doing okay? I know you're probably being quiet so as not to disturb, but hopefully everyone's here. Enjoying the ride. Enjoying. Alright, good. It's a lot of reading, so I hope you're not getting bored or anything. I'm getting really into it, but, you know, I'm the one reading it, so... Okay, let me wipe off this scratch-off dust, and then we'll have a look at what it says. Oh, I see some ominous things. Okay. Innate trait. Absolute rationality, reluctant guardian, fractured anchor, endless cycles, gaze of the abyss. Cool. That's a little worried. Playing Pal World with Palu, but listening. Okie dokie. Okay, let's... Absolute oopsies. Oh no, I kicked the thing. Absolute rationality and endless cycles kind of freaks me out a little bit. I hope Rodrigo is okay. I don't know if he is. If he is. The board. Oh, okay, I know what's on the board. That's what matters as well. Okay. Okay, back to this. No matter how exhausted, I didn't let myself sleep deeply. Here, closing my eyes might mean never opening them. So when a faint crunch of snow sounded outside, I jolted awake. I held my breath, squinted through the tent flap. A red figure slipped silently into the storm like a ghost. Romanova. She carried her pack of core materials, held a storm lantern, and woke no one. Was she leaving? The thought exploded in my mind. After all that dragging like livestock, she'd abandoned us as fuel before the final stretch? No, maybe worse. I couldn't tell if finding the ice crystal was a madness-inducing delusion, but if even she was losing control. I looked back into the tent. The air was stifling. Neil huddled in a corner, trembling even in sleep, mumbling incoherently. We couldn't lose the professor. Rourke was already gone. We lost the only one who knew the coordinates, and everyone, myself, Neil, and the dazed others, would face only death in this endless white hell. Gritting my teeth, I grabbed my ice axe and ran into the storm. Outside it was worse than expected. Wind and snow cut like blunt knives. Each breath felt like swallowing glass shards. Visibility under 5 meters. I fixed on the faint light ahead, her only trace. I struggled through the snow. The drifts were deep. Each step sank to the knees or waist. Ugh, sorry. I tried to turn my chair, then I think I might have kicked something. Hang on. Tripod is a bit there. Okay. The drifts were deep. Each step sank to the knees or waist. I had to pull my leg free before taking the next. The wind threatened to knock me down. Cold pierced my furs. My lungs spasmed from the frigid air. Body heat fled with sweat. I didn't know how long I had been chasing. My only guide was the professor's lantern ahead. Gradually, that light seemed to grow more distant, or the world around me brightened. Rhodey? A warm, heartbreakingly familiar voice sounded by my ear. I froze. Had the storm stopped? No, the world around me had changed. The biting wind vanished, replaced by the warm scent of powder and silk backstage at Arkham's Opera House. Yes, that's Catherine. Catherine stood there. She wore the silk gown from Madama Butterfly's premiere, makeup perfect, stunning in the glow. Her blonde hair looked warm and soft. She smiled, reaching out. Rhodey, don't chase anymore. Her voice was gentle, full of pity. It's too cold ahead. Stay with me. Let's go nowhere, all right? Yes, of course. Hi, Karaga. In this hellish ice, she was the only salvation. My mind screamed for rest, for that warmth. My trembling hand reached out, fingertips inches away. Catherine? I murmured. Her smile deepened. Her eyes held a tender net ready to trap me. Then a sharp gust of wind pierced my collar. I shivered violently. Physical pain stabbed through the warmth like a needle. This was Antarctica. No opera house. No Catherine. Surrendering to this warmth meant surrendering to death. A precursor to paradoxical undressing, my brain's sweet trap for a painless end. No. A rough croak escaped my throat. Rhodey? She looked hurt, confused. Stepping closer. Don't you love me anymore? Get away from me! With all my strength, I swung the ice axe at the phantom I'd longed for. Crash. A shattering sound. The warm opera house, beautiful Catherine, false happiness, all shattered into countless icy shards. Reality reclaimed the world. Wind and snow filled my mouth and nose. I gasped, tried to steady myself, but I'd forgotten. That swing had used my last strength, and my footing was empty. My foot met nothing. I'd unknowingly reached the edge of a snow-covered crevasse. The swing destroyed my balance. The snow beneath me collapsed. Ah! A cry tore from me as weightlessness took over. I fell into the ice. Total weightlessness, then violent impact. My left shoulder slammed into a hard wall before pain could register. I bounced like a rag doll, crashing into the opposite side. This wasn't a natural crevasse. It felt like a massive, smooth esophagus. I curled tight, sliding wildly down this winding, almost living throat. My parka screeched against the ice like knives on porcelain. For a moment, I truly felt like food being swallowed, squeezed by the earth's muscle towards some bottomless stomach. In the dark, I glimpsed that the ice walls weren't transparent. They were veined with dark red, root-like threads, as if capillaries frozen in place. Just as I thought my spine would grind apart, the slope eased. A thud. I was vomited from the narrow fissure, landing hard on solid ice. Momentum rolled me another dozen turns until I hit a protruding ridge, and I stopped. I lay there half a minute, gasping, each breath sliced like blades. My ears rang. My mouth tasted of iron. Pain. Sharp pain. But that reassured me. Pain meant my spine wasn't broken. I was alive. I forced my fingers to move. The cold of the ice seeped through my gloves. I pushed myself up, desperate to find the lantern and pickaxe I'd dropped. But as I lifted my head, I froze. I didn't need the light anymore, because here, there was already light. Hi, Kate! I staggered to my feet and ran a few steps inward. Then I saw something I would never forget. No longer a shapeless ice cave, a vast buried cathedral. Breathtaking in scale, profane enough to sicken, dozens of massive translucent ice columns rose like ribs supporting an unseen black vault. But they weren't stone. In the faint glow, their surfaces were veined with purple-gray tracery. Tracery. A texture between frozen cartilage and murky crystal. It felt like a colossal uterus, flash-frozen. My stomach turned. Reason told me it was all dead matter, but instinct screamed. With a slight temperature rise, this church, would stir, contract, writhe. I stood like a parasite on its wet, cold mucosa. More unsettling were the surrounding galleries. The smooth walls were dense with tumor-like growths and folds. Not tool marks, but as if organic matter had grown wildly in the cold, then solidified in rigor mortis. In the shifting light, those irregular bulges held a disturbing mimicry. They suggested twisted limbs, porous faces, tangled nerve bundles struggling free from the walls. Not explicit images, but my brain forced the chaotic, suggestive textures into a gallery of pilgrims frozen in agony. Up here it is. You can see, there he is, with his little light. And there's the artwork. You can see, that's pretty creepy, yep. I stepped back until my spine hit an ice spur. The things grown into the wall seemed to watch. When I looked directly, they were cold stone. When I glanced away, the shadows seemed to shift subtly. That sense of countless dead eyes made my skin crawl. At the far end of the cathedral, all ribs converged on a single point. There hung a vast, translucent, torn membrane. I was drawn forward, wanting a clearer look. It resembled a giant insect cocoon, ripped open, hanging in the air, edges draped with frozen, murky crystals like amniotic fluid dried eons ago. Inside, the membrane was empty, a dark, silent maw. And what had been inside was gone. I understood then. Thud. Thud. No heartbeat, only the echo of vibrating air. But the sound bypassed my ears, striking my sternum directly. With each pulse, the cartilage-like columns groaned. The walls trembled. Oh. A groan escaped me. I clutched my chest, knees buckling. I grabbed a chair-shaped ice rock beside me to stay upright. The frequency was too strong. My heart was forced to adjust as if an unseen hand squeezed the muscle. Then a tangible chill poured from the darkness above. I looked up, teeth chattering uncontrollably. I felt it clearly. Something in the unseen vault above was watching, with a god's indifference towards an insect. It saw me. Fate's gamble. I can either step back with caution, or... Okay, and lose 2 sanity. I could also lose none, but I could also lose 4. We gamba. We always gamba. We gamba in this house. We're gonna roll. The edges of reality begin to fray. That unfamiliar voice grows clearer now, no longer just a whisper, but a demand for a wager against the darkness. Yeah, we gamba. We live for the gamba. I need to roll a 5 or above, or bad things happen. Oh, I got a crit! Sweet! Alright, so we're good. Success. Your resolve holds. Lose 0 sanity. Yay! Yippee! Alright, so cool. Nothing happens. I did not lose any sanity. My resolve hold, or Rodrigo's resolve holds. Okay. I stared rigidly upward, trying to pierce the murky darkness above. At first, I thought it was an illusion caused by cracked ice above or shadows cast on the vault, until the shadow moved. A grinding sound came from the heights, like thousands of tons of glacial ice scraping together. The source wasn't a single entity, but the entire wall. Crack. Rumble. Beneath my gaze, the columns slowly, ponderously pulled free from the ice. No, they weren't architectural supports. They were a row of chest ribs belonging to something colossal. Then it detached from the dark and slammed onto the ground. Crash! The whole cavern groaned under the impact. It was enormous, like a partially developed giant stillborn dragged from a frozen womb, or a walking church ruin tolling its own funeral bell. It stood several meters tall, a dead, gray-white hue. The rows of huge, vertically aligned bone plates resembled both a cathedral's towering pipe organ and some great beast's everted rib cage. Between the skeletal gaps hung tattered black ribbons. No, not ribbons. Exposed sensory nerve bundles, greedily catching my heat and fear in the air. The smell of ancient frost and corpse rot hit me. I stood frozen. Instinct screamed to run, but my body was nailed by primal awe. It had no face. Where a head might be on the rock-like side was only a vast gray spiral pattern, not eyes, a pale vortex, dead, set into the bony carapace. Yeah, I want to put this song on repeat because I think it's perfect. No emotion, only geologic scale, absolute indifference. Ooh. A low moan passed through the gaps in its chest like air leaking from a broken organ. The sound was deep, thick, forming a profane resonance with the cavern's echoes. Thud, thud, piercing my chest. It turned its massive form slowly, that great spiral pattern fixed on me. It was watching. Snap. That was the sound of my sanity breaking. Combat initiated! Alright, y'all want to see the card? See the combat card? This thing? Scion of the Pale Depths. Yeah, so when I just looked, I very briefly, like, glanced at this card while I was, you know, opening the chapter, and it looked like a train. Now that I know what it is, it's, yeah, it's... So this is it. It's on this nice little holographic card you can see, but yeah, so that is the thing. So you can see the nerve bundles that they talked about up there, and there's the inverted ribs, and this is like a neck socket where a head should be, but it didn't develop right. So yeah. Yep. So I have a 6-round limit. An ancient ritual vessel slumbering beneath polar ice. Its very existence is a crystallization of disordered faith. Yeah. Alright, so it has 20 HP. Which is not great. Yeah, again, I really wish there was some way for me to track the HP a little bit better, but I'm just gonna use 2d10 I have on my desk, because I do have some dice on my desk. Yeah, so I'm just going to use the dice to track the HP. I don't really know what else to do, so... Alright, so currently it's at 20. And then I will just increment these dice down as need be. Alright, so let me switch to the top down so we can transition into combat. You can take him, I hope so, or Rodrigo's gonna die. Alright. Okay, so let me move this stuff out of the way, 'cause we need that. Alright, so if you weren't here last time, this is how combat works. It is on this grid, and I literally dropped the dice. So I dropped the fracture dice. I have to drop it from 6 inches, which handily, for this purpose, they did make it so that the pen that this game comes with is 6 inches exactly, so I know exactly how far to drop it from. So I need to try to hit the thing. What do I do with the card? There. So if I can hit the thing within this red zone, like one of these red boxes. So if the dice lands inside one of those red boxes, it does 3 damage plus 2 times however many sanity, I guess, are showing on the dice when I drop it. And then if I hit somewhere on the page, it only does 2 damage. And then if I land off the page, it does a counterattack. Which is not great. But I just feel like it's highly unlikely for the dice to roll off the page. I don't know. Knock on wood. Okay, so I have 6 rounds. If the monster is not defeated within 6 rounds, it slowly sinks back into the ice. You will fail to reach the core ritual site in time, triggering a more chaotic outcome. Win or lose, I lose sanity equal to the number of rounds times 2. Yep. Or else the mission fails. What happens when the mission actually fails? That's the part I haven't really been able to figure out. It just seems like I keep going. Let's see. Alright. I guess I'll have another thing for the round numbers. So here's a d6, so it's round 1. I mean, I feel like this is pretty straightforward. Here's 6 inches. There we go. So I hit in the red. So that is in the weakness zone. So I deal 3 base damage plus 2 times the number of sanity. There's 4 sanity on here. So that's 8. Oh, it says max total 10 damage per round. Okay, so I do 10 damage too. Nice. Let's down to 10 HP. So that was round 1. Round 2. This feels a little too easy. I don't know. But it is only the second enemy, so... Okay, well. So that is 1 damage... Or no, 2 base damage plus 1 times the number of sanity. There's none on this particular dice face, so it only does 2 damage. So it's down to 8 HP. So we can get rid of the 10s. So it is down to 8 HP. Oh, y'all can't see that. Right there. 8 HP left. Okay. Okay. It's 2 damage again. Plus 1 times the number of sanity, so it does 4 damage total. So it has 4 HP left. Now we're to round 3. Really need you to die. Cool. So it's 3 base damage plus 2 times the number of sanity. There's 2 of them, so it's 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. It's dead. Okay, so I killed it, but it did take 3 rounds. Which means I lose 6 sanity. Oh, love it. That's not too bad again. Okay. Okay. So I dropped down to 44. So I'm now to thin skin. Your senses open too wide. The world cuts too deep. So I'm down to 44 sanity because I did have to lose 6. I love that you lose sanity no matter what. So even if you win, you still lose sanity. You're just trying to, you know, win as fast as you can. That sucks. Jeez. Okay, well. I don't know. I feel like the battle is a little bit too easy. Like 6 inches is really not very much. I feel like they should have had us drop it from a bit higher up because I just feel like dropping from 6 inches, what is the likelihood that your dice is actually going to spin off of the page? I don't know. It is 6 inches. You're supposed to drop it. That's all you do in the combat, and that's why the pen is shaped is 6 inches. Yeah, drop the die from 6 inch plus above the page. Yeah. That's all I'm doing, 6 inches. A little too easy, I think. But here we go. Mark my words, I'm sure it gets harder later. Okay. Anyway, well, I did lose 6 sanity, so I'm below 50 now, which is not good. Okay, here we go. Okay, finish that. Everything stopped. The fight's memory fragmented like film burned by a fever. I recalled only frantic scrambling in narrow ice gaps, the dull thud of my axe against bone, lungs burning, and the dead, emotionless light from that great spiral. When my senses returned, I was slumped deep in an unfamiliar fissure. The walking cathedral hadn't followed. It halted. Through a gap in the ice, I watched it lose its oppressive vitality like a giant clock whose spring was cut. Then, defying physics, the permafrost softened, grew greasy. The pale hulk uttered no rage. It sank like a bone-white wreck, solemn and slow, back into the ice. Seconds later, the surface sealed. I slid down the rough wall until I collapsed. My hands shook violently, fingers locked stiff. My chest felt full of embers. Each breath brought a tearing ache. Exhaled heat frosted instantly on my blood-stained collar. Only then did that heavy, ancient gaze from above truly fade. For a moment I wavered, with only scattered ice as evidence. Was it all another delusion? Silence reclaimed the world. Darkness wrapped me again. Listening to my own ragged breath, I'd never felt my own voice so alien, like an echo dragged from the ribs of a corpse in hell. We have a cognitive fracture again. I'm gonna just keep choosing to gain the Mark of Chaos, so we get our 3rd Mark of Chaos. I don't know what these do. The game didn't really explain. They're just like, just get it. I don't know what's gonna happen to me if I fill up on Chaos. So here we go. I got our 3rd Chaos token. That would be added to it. We got 3. What could go wrong? We do not have sealed file number 4, so we're just gonna continue. Chaos. Yeah, we always choose chaos. can't stay here. I forced myself upright, leaning on the slick ice wall, but the moment I stepped forward, I knew something was wrong. The terrain had mutated. The ice underfoot wasn't solid. It felt like semi-solid grease, yielding with a nauseating squelch. The air grew heavy, thick with a stifling mix of ozone and musk. This wasn't an ice cave. It felt like a giant dead intestine, damp, claustrophobic. The darkness around me seeming to digest in silence. Absolute quiet. No wind, not even dripping water. That total silence felt like camouflage, as if something held its breath to avoid startling prey. Pressure climbed my spine. I shouldn't be here. Every nerve screamed at me to flee this nightmare dimension. I moved slowly along the greasy ice, searching for an exit. Gradually, patterns emerged on the walls, lines like biological capillaries or ancient, unrecorded geometric script. They crawled, split, recombined beneath the translucent ice, as if possessing a venomous life. Don't look. Don't read. Reason screamed, but I couldn't look away. My eyes felt magnetized. It wasn't reading, it was infusion. Those twisted lines bypassed the optic nerve, forcing incomprehensible data directly into my mind. As I stared, a low-frequency ache burst inside my skull. I clutched my head, yet felt obscure concepts forming. Dimensional folding, stellar alignments, the original, hideous forms of life. It felt as if my brain were being pried open. Intense ringing and pain brought warm fluid to my nose. I wiped it away, then my hand came back red. No, move. Just as my mind threatened to rupture, the narrow intestine ended. I stumbled into a vast chamber, a broad, majestic main passage. The floor was no longer grease, but worked stone with clear, artificial shaping. It was an artery that had existed for eons, stretching from the deep toward an unknown heart. I realized. In the storm, I had been a blind trespasser. Only now had I stumbled onto the pilgrim's road. Then I looked down. On the smooth floor, a line of fresh footprints merged from a side passage behind and led straight ahead. The edges still seeped dark moisture. The stride was steady, deliberate, without hesitation. I knew that size. Professor Romanova. As I stared at the prints, a sound drifted from deep within the corridor. A hum. First wind, then chanting. It was an ultra-low frequency recitation, as if thousands of drowned throats were murmuring in unison. No words, but rhythm. No language, but clear inducement. The sound didn't reach my ears. It resonated directly in my brain matter. It stirred my deepest thoughts, trying to crush my fear, memory, self-awareness into pulp, forcing me to kneel, to join the grand chorus. I lurched forward 2 steps without meaning to. No, my blood froze, because I realized to my horror that my legs, and even my will, were refusing to stop. Alright. I'm gonna do a poll, so y'all can decide what we do next. So it's either turn and flee or follow the sound. I'll let y'all choose. So I will let y'all pick. So that'll be I'll do a 3-minute vote. Not too long, not too short. Okay, do I have the Twitch poll up here? Yep. I'll put this on the screen. I have a feeling I know. Let y'all do that. You can choose. While you choose, I'm gonna have a little snack break. I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen, but you know what? Let's put it to a vote anyways. Having some salad flavored jagariko. They're like little French fried chips, basically. They're really crispy. And they don't get stuff all over your hands somehow. I don't know what crazy thing they do, but you don't get all this residue on your hands. Oh, it's tied up. Oh wow, Kuraga, I just saw your House of Leaves comment. Yeah, it's that same kind of horror, but like unsettling kind of horror feeling the House of Leaves has. Kuraga, I don't think you were here when I had to put the letter back together. That was fun. That felt a little House of Leaves-y. Pals, do you really want to follow? What could go wrong? Karaga, you're not curious? You don't want to know? You don't want to know what that is? That chanting? You hear people chanting down like a creepy intestine cave? You don't want to check it out? I want to be alive and not crazy. Oh, too late for that. It just says the chanting stirred my deepest thoughts, trying to crush my fear, memories, self-awareness into pulp, forcing me to kneel to join the grand chorus. That sounds nice. No suffering in the hive mind. So it could be Uga Chaka. Yeah, it could be. We don't know. It just says an ultra-low frequency recitation. Thousands of drowned throats murmuring in unison, without words, but with rhythm. Alright, I'm glad. I'm glad you all are freaks like me. Okay, follow the sound. I'm sure something terrible is gonna happen. I'm excited. I'm here for it. Okay, so turn to page 277. Okay. I clenched my jaw and stepped forward. I moved along that pilgrim's path. The further I went, the stronger the ultra-low frequency chanting grew. It vibrated through my soul as if forcibly tuning itself to me. That resonance sickened me, and it felt no longer like myself, but like a mold being filled. Something was forcing its way inside my skin in a way I hadn't imagined. I walked for a time. I couldn't measure. The slope kept climbing, as if I were ascending a mountain hidden within the cave. Then, ahead, a glow appeared. A gust of damp, hot air, thick with the metallic scent of rust, hit my face. I held my breath and looked up. I stood in a vast hemispherical ice greenhouse. The walls crawled with slowly pulsing black veins. Countless translucent ducts hung from the ceiling, like dense umbilical cords converging at the center. And there, massive, inverted ice crystal, half buried in a medium of black grease and dark red organic tissue, it pulsed slowly, heavily. With each contraction, a visible lavender glow pumped outward along the floor's vascular network. Below that crystal, a dark mass of people knelt. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Doesn't that look so fun? This music is a little bit too doesn't that look so friendly? Aren't you so glad we went inside? Isn't that so great? I covered my mouth, stomach twisting. I didn't know how to describe the scene. They knelt densely, uniformly, on the black grease. No sound, no coughs, not even breathing. They held the same posture. Knees on the ground, heads bowed, backs bent into stiff arcs like black tombstones frozen in the ice. Trembling, I moved closer, trying to see their faces. When I reached the last row, cold seized my marrow. Taylor, Julian, Neil. They should have been back at camp. How? Now they knelt here, eyes rolled back, expressions twisted as if caught between ecstasy and agony. Translucent tendrils rose from the black grease, coiled around their limbs and necks, sucking greedily like one tethering livestock. Neil, Taylor. I tried to call out, but my throat was frozen, producing only a rasp. The nearest figure turned stiffly toward the sound. For a moment I saw his eyes. No pupils, no focus. His mouth opened. No words came, only a thick white mist pouring out. Not breath. More like his warmth, his life, his very soul being drawn out, sucked directly into the greedy crystal above. A line of black tears rolled from his eyes. Oh, well, you can see that. It's pretty creepy. See that? Yep, thank you. Thank you for the zoom. I backed away in horror, bumping into the row ahead. These were no longer living. Dozens of completely transparent ice sculptors wearing parkas like ours, Miskatonic University crests faintly visible on their chests. The team from 2 years ago. Realizing that made my soul tremble. They all knelt below the altar, twisted yet uniform, long since part of this frozen earth. From their eye sockets the same black, blood-like mud oozed. The dead and the living, side by side, worshipping together. And at the very front, in the shadow of the core crystal, Professor Romanova knelt. She faced away from me, hands pressed to the crystal's surface as if embracing it or sacrificing to it. Her back trembled with the crystal's breathing rhythm. It was like the umbilical cord connecting this dead graveyard to the unhatched god thing. My gaze was locked onto that massive ice crystal. With its slow, heavy pulsation, the murky glow on its surface seemed to thin, revealing the true form of the dark mass within. And in that moment, my perception fractured. There was someone inside the crystal. Within those translucent walls, deep inside that dark amniotic fluid-like medium, a curled body drifted slowly toward the outer wall with each pulsation. She. Pale and naked, limbs drawn to her chest like an infant, her long hair spreading through the liquid like seaweed. Her skin held the grayish pallor of death, yet some unnatural force maintained a counterfeit semblance of life. When her face finally pressed against the inner wall of the crystal, carried by the fluid's flow, my breath stopped entirely. Those closed eyes, that prominent nose, the faintly arrogant curve of the brow, even in this death-like slumber. How was this possible? It felt as if a load-bearing pillar deep in my mind collapsed. I jerked my head toward the red figure kneeling outside the crystal, then locked my eyes back on the floating form within. Why were there 2 of them? Why did the face of the woman inside the ice crystal belong to another Olga Romanova? That's creepy. I understood it quickly. The core of everything happening before me, the bizarre kneeling ritual, all those phenomena defying physical law lay within that ice crystal. It was the heart, the brain, the source of the sickness. The professor's notes didn't matter now, neither did Rourke's warnings. I was the only one left who could move. I would destroy it, sever this damned umbilical cord, stop this collective hysteria. Then my companions might wake up. Maybe we could still get out of this hell alive. I tightened my grip on the badly chipped ice axe, my only weapon. Using an axe against that crystal was probably futile, but it was my only way out. I charged forward with a roar, every shred of fear, anger, and despair channeled into my arms. As I closed the distance, I finally saw the red figure clearly. My pupils constricted. No, she wasn't here willingly. Professor Romanova, she wasn't praying. Countless thin black tendrils had emerged from the greasy floor, a mesh of wires digging deep into her neck and wrists, forcing her into this kneeling position. Something writhed violently beneath her skin. Vitality was being forcibly drained. She wasn't the high priestess. She was the main battery. Pure rage ignited me. I didn't know if it was for her or for all of us. Die! I swung the ruined axe at the pulsating heart. Kneel. Submit. Rodrigo. This is the truth. Accept my teaching. You are dust. Return. Return. The whispers in my mind erupted into a shrieking chorus. Overlapping voices exploded inside my skull. The professor lecturing, the howling blizzard, and something ancient, slick, murmuring, a red-hot needle churning my brains. Hot fluid rushed into my nose. Blood. It coated my lips with a taste of rust. My vision blurred. The world spun. I didn't stop. Swing after swing. Clang. 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 Pain shot up the handle with each impact. My palm split open inside my gloves, blood flowing down the shaft, but I felt the ice shards flying. I heard the sickening crack spreading across the crystal surface. The chanting in my head became a piercing scream. The shadow within the crystal thrashed violently, the fury of a godling facing abortion. Its psychic assault threatened to shatter my eardrums, my sanity, everything. No! I was going back alive. Catherine was waiting for me. I gritted my teeth until they nearly shattered. Pouring the last of my human strength, all my fury into the blade's edge, I aimed my final blow at that sleeping, arrogant face. Crack. Emergency event. A reality phrase. The geometry of your world distorts. Your decisions now belong to the shadows. Cast the fracture dice. Aren't you guys having so much fun? Isn't this such a nice, pleasant story? So happy. We're all, I caught up with my friends. We're all together now. and become one with the void, that evil god in the crystal. We are reaching the end of chapter 2, so I think what I'll do is I'll get to the end of this chapter, and that's where we'll stop today. Reminder to save thy work, stretch thy limbs, quench thy thirst, consume thy meal, and attend to thy pets. Thank you, Kruznik. Yeah, definitely quench thy thirst and consume thy meal. Meal. I got no sanity symbol. Mad whispers seep into your mind. Yay! Zebulon! That's fine. It's fine. Page 289. Oh, I missed a narrative artifact. That's okay. Crack. A final, desperate, almost comical crack. The iron axe in my hands had finally reached its limit. Another strike against the crystal surface. The metal shrieked once and snapped. The broken head spun away, slamming into the ice wall behind. The crystal remained untouched. It hung there, silent. No mockery, no anger. Only the cold detachment of a higher being observing an insect. Then it began its correction. Hum. Not the slow pulse from before, but a violent, blinding burst of light. Agony exploded inside my skull. A burning icicle speared through my frontal lobe, churning my brain. I could not even scream. My body betrayed me. Crunch. My knees buckled, or perhaps they simply obeyed a higher command. They slammed against the ice, dropping me to the ground. The chanting in my skull was no longer distant. It became a solid wall of sound pressed against my eardrums, a final edict delivered in a sharp, alien, unarguable tongue. Kneel. Close eyes. Merge. Sanity -6. The abyss beckons. Oh, I still get the narrative artifact, so I guess this one you get either way. -6, you say? That drops me down to 38. 38 sanity. I'm now at fraying edges. Voices echo, shapes linger. You start to answer back. Yeah, Rodrigo, we're not doing so hot. You are not doing so well, Rodrigo. My consciousness was torn into shreds. Each piece screamed its surrender. My vision spun wildly. The ceiling melted. Light flowed like liquid. Snow and ice, distance and closeness, movement and stillness all collapsed into each other, like a canvas burned, torn, and peeled away layer by layer before my eyes. I tried to reach for something, found I had lost all command of my limbs. In that final moment, I was no longer a man. I was a speck of dust, its signal cut, utterly consumed by the onrushing, sacred, terrible white. That was my final memory of the ice field. Then, a long, dead silence. Yippee! Narrative artifact archive number 10, the ice crystal. Will we recover? I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. Alright, so we got the final artifact from this chapter. The ice crystal, which is this really neat looking little like holographic card thing. So it goes, try not to don't dox myself. You know what? I'll do the top-down camera. Top-down camera, let's not dox myself. Let's not do it. Okay. You see it? Ooh. Ah. So sometimes it looks empty, and then when you turn it, it's like, whoa, there's a person there. It's Professor Romanova's clone. Evil clone thing. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. That's pretty neat. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go put the sticker on the board. This is artifact number 10. Yippee! You're close to the end of the chapter. Cat, here to listen to me recite this horrible... Oh, so we got actually all the artifacts from chapter 2. Missing some from chapter 1, but there's only 4 artifacts in this chapter, and we got them all. Oh, we missed one. I guess not. Neat. Alright, that's on the board. Yeah, we're very close to the end of chapter 2. I see a single-digit number of pages, so we'll go to the end of this chapter, and then that'll be it for today. Okay. Resonance check. The abyss reaches out. Only the right ward can keep the darkness at bay, if fulfilled. You hold narrative artifact number 7, steamer ticket. We do. We have the steamer ticket. We did collect that one this time. We got all of them, like I said. So good. So we get to go to the next page. That's good. That's nice. That's good to know. When consciousness returned, my nose was filled with a nauseating smell of ammonia and cheap antiseptic. I lay in a church hospital bed in Ushuaia. Outside the window, a gray sky and dirty snow. The edge of the civilized world, yet now the most welcoming sight I could imagine. Rourke saved us, they said. That old bastard hadn't abandoned us. He slipped away from the sleepwalking group during the night, braved the blizzard alone, and set up a temporary radio. He contacted rescue at the last possible moment. He led them back along the tracks and dragged our corpse-like bodies from the snow pits one by one. Full team survival. It was a miracle. In that crowded ward, a doctor tended to my frostbite, speaking with a casualness that made me want to hit him. You got lucky, staying together in a storm like that. Severe psychic shock for a few, but for most it's just surface injuries. I listened in silence, nails digging into my palms until the pain registered. Surface injuries? That thing peeled from the ice, shaped like a colossal stillborn, that icy greenhouse, fueled by the living and the dead, reeking of a cloying sweetness, that core crystal floating above the abyss, nurturing another Olga. Was all of that just some cheap hallucination conjured by an oxygen-starved brain in the extreme cold? Rourke visited once. He wore civilian clothes, his face shadowed. The smell of gunpowder had been replaced by cheap pipe tobacco. He didn't sit. He just stood by the bed, looking at me with the assessing gaze of a man evaluating a survivor. You're one tough kid, he said, grinning briefly. Rourke, the things I saw in there. I tried to sit up, and the professor, she... I'll be reporting everything to the boss, he cut me off. For a moment, he seemed to deliberately place a distance between us. You know how it is out there. A man can lose himself. He tapped his temple. And dealing with your student-teacher drama isn't in my contract. Oh, your professor's fine. Just weak. But, listen, Ricci. He stared at me, his eyes holding the bottomless professional chill of a mercenary. Sometimes, for your own sake, what you shouldn't know, you don't ask. Oh, I forgot to change it back to the side view. Sorry. There we go. He gave me no chance to press further. He turned and left the room. For a moment, I couldn't tell. Was he telling me to shut up, or did even he not believe what I'd seen later? The world seemed to return to normal. Those indescribable horrors appeared to have vanished with the storm. Reason reclaimed its tracks, but my head throbbed violently. Images from the ice cave were seared onto my retinas. I thought, I needed to find Professor Romanova, get some answers, but not now. Maybe not soon. I needed rest. I needed to get away from here. Even if only temporarily, I had to escape this white nightmare. Ooh, plus 10 sanity. You survived the white waste. You never stop thinking. Through sheer will, a fragile clarity catches the fraying threads of your sanity. I survived the expedition. Restore 10 sanity. Yippee! Up to 48. Back up to thin skin, but okay, 48. We're close to 50. That's not too bad. 38 is scary. 48 is doable. I guess we just keep going. All right. Oh, let me take a sip. May 20th. Oh shoot, May. Jeez, May 20th. Remember, it was February before. May 20th, 1926. Addendum. The train moved with a steady, monotonous rhythm. The clatter of the rails was a hypnotic beat. Outside the window, green forests and gray rocks flowed past in a blurred stream. In the isolated, quiet sway of the carriage, I opened my notebook, attempting to record the private conversation I had with Professor Romanova before leaving Ushuaia. Even now, far removed, a chill crept up through the pen. When I went to see her, she had fully regained her usual persona, the rigorous, aloof scholar. Her desk was piled with reports, a slender cigarette between her lips. She showed no change in expression when I pushed the door open, only calmly closed the black notebook beside her. The motion was as natural as if she had just finished a routine faculty meeting. Professor? My voice was kind of dry in the doorway. Regarding the final report for this expedition, how should we write it? It was more than a question. I wanted to know how she would justify a complete operational failure, all samples lost, personnel psychologically damaged, the so-called Aurora treatment proven a fantasy. She looked up at me through the haze of smoke. However, I saw no trace of defeat in those green eyes, only their usual inscrutable depth. The truth, she said flatly. Severe collective neurasthenia induced by polar high pressure, hypoxia, and magnetic anomalies. We encountered a storm. That explains everything. Just neurasthenia? I couldn't help but take a step forward. But Professor, in that ice cave, and the kneeling people, and the... Rodrigo. Her interruption was soft. No anger, no denial. It carried even a hint of that particular superior concern unique to a mentor. You are exhausted, she said, her gaze fixed on me. Her tone so gentle it chilled my spine. In such conditions, human senses are unreliable. If you insist on writing those nightmares into the report, the medical board will only question your mental fitness. That would do no good for your graduation. Or your career. I was stunned. Her argument was flawlessly good. And, compared to the dead things in Antarctica, she added, I think you should be more concerned with the living. With that, she extracted an envelope from the pile of documents and held it out to me. An urgent letter from Arkham. It seems someone needs you more than I do. I hesitated. The handwriting on the envelope was familiar. It was Catherine's. That gentle script seemed to pull me instantly from the frozen south back to a warmer world. Go home, Rodrigo. The professor reopened her notebook, a clear dismissal. Forget Antarctica. Go be with her. You are on summer break, are you not? I pressed my lips together, took the envelope, and gave her one last deep look. She was already writing something, her head bent, and in the shadow of the desk lamp, the line of her profile seemed unnaturally perfect. Perfect to the point of strangeness. No, don't think about it. Perhaps she was right. If everyone was fine, if everyone came back alive, then it was possible it was all my hallucination. Either way, I needed rest. She was right. It was summer break. And here's the letter from Catherine. Dear Rhodey, as I write this, I cannot be sure if you have returned safely from that ice field, but I pray day and night that this letter finds its way into your warm hands and is not sent back with a cold postmark. Rhodey, I have run into some trouble. No, perhaps it is more serious than trouble. My body, forgive me, the specifics are something I cannot bring myself to put on paper. I need someone with medical knowledge, someone I can trust implicitly for advice. In this world, the only person I can think of is you. I know this is presumptuous, coming right after your long expedition, but I am truly afraid. If you are back safely, and if time allows, could you possibly come to the Forgotten Lake Sanatorium on the outskirts of Arkham? The lake and hills here are beautiful, very peaceful. Perhaps the scenery can soothe the weariness the pole has left you with. Rhodey, I miss you so much. Always yours, Catherine. And that is the end of chapter 2. Alright, so I'm going to put everything back in the box, and then I will set up chapter 3, like we'll get it out of the box, put everything in here, and then, but we will stop. So we're not going to start chapter 3, but I do want to, set up, so next time we can just dive right in. But yeah, what y'all think? That was pretty interesting. A whole bunch of stuff happened. Oh my goodness. It was scary. I'm going to switch to the top down and put away. What thoughts? Impressions? Hi, Yggdra? That was great. I'm so glad. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm super into this story. Like, I'm going to pretty regularly stream this until it's done because I want to know what happens. I am seated. I want to know. It is hard to close them. Good. Alright. Okay, so I got all of chapter 2 safely put back into its box. Now, I'll just get the chapter 3 stuff. Yeah, because I want to be able to just dive right in. Okay. Nope, that's chapter 4. Oh, chapter 4 seems thick. Chapter 3 is not quite as thick as chapter 4. Okay. Cut this box open, or cut the plastic wrap. It's the Forgotten Lake Sanatorium. Sounds could possibly go wrong? Nothing, I'm sure. Nothing. We're just going to a sanatorium to visit our beloved Catherine. What could possibly be amiss? I don't know why. I don't know. And the scene where the fake Catherine appeared on the ice and was like, "Stop resisting! Come back to me!" I just kept thinking about that song from Epic where they're with the sirens, you know? I will take your suffering from you. Oof, freaky. Alright, here's the chapter 3 box. Again, looks great. Looks, you know, what's gonna, nothing bad will happen, right? Alright. I have my little X-Acto knife thing, so that should hopefully cut through this label a little bit better. It's thinner, because I struggled last time. There, look at that. Like butter. Smooth like butter. Love this little X-Acto knife pen. Alright. Okay. Again, I'm gonna leave all the artifacts in here. Have them all face down, I guess. Okay. Okay. We're gonna be a junior. I had a look at the pictures on accident because I was just trying to count to make sure we had all the things. Oh, we've got some stuff. Oh, there's gonna be multiple battles in this one. That's great. That's okay. So there's more than one card here. Ooh, the medical record. Record 2 and record 3. Where's record? Alright. Alright, well I'm gonna leave the artifacts in the box. I accidentally caught a glimpse, but I won't spoil y'all. I don't think the spoiler really scares me that much. It just gives me something to look forward to. Alright, got the sealed files. Shh. Okay. Okay, so I have the regular pages. And then I have the little special pages to figure out where those go. Right, so. Ooh. I'm excited to read that extra book now that came with all the extra lore. There's some interesting stuff going on. Okay. Not look too closely at all that. Okay. This is page 386. There's some weird stuff on. Ooh. Sorry, this is page 357. Page 361. Letter from Catherine is on page 321. Okay. That one. Now we have the two sealed ones. This was on page 429. Ooh, almost done. This one doesn't have as many special pages as the last two chapters, for better or for worse. And 307, so this one should be at the very front. Okay. Oops, there's a little thingy I forgot to pop out there. There we go. Cool. Dang, I thought I popped all of them out. Okay. There we go. Okay, so chapter 3 is ready to go for the next time we get to pick this up. Up there. Close this up. Okay. Yeah, so we're currently sitting at 48 sanity, because we survived. So we could have done really bad, but we did survive, so we're at 48 sanity. We've unlocked the first two sections of Rodrigo and Professor Romanova's profiles. That's pretty cool. And then... Oops, wait. And then we currently have 3 marks of chaos and sealed key number 1, which is pretty neat, so... yeah, we're moving along. I don't know, you know, I'm really curious to see what kind of ending we get, but right now we're just like embracing chaos, embracing like all the weird stuff, like we're just accepting it at face value, you know, and I think that's pretty neat. Okay, so that is going to be it for today. We already finished chapter 2, so next time we will pick right back up with chapter 3. Just as a reminder, there are 4 chapters total, but then there's 13 endings, and there's like all those sealed files that only come when you have the right keys. So there's a bunch of extra lore that really only gets, I mean, lore, I'm not really sure, lore, maybe more story or something, that only get unlocked on subsequent playthroughs. So there's a lot to digest in this game still, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for hanging out today. Hope you enjoyed Chaos Reigns. Yeah, at least for this playthrough, Chaos Reigns. Might have to do a playthrough where we just run away from everything and see what happens. Thanks for stream. Thanks for being here. Have a good day. Yeah, I will be sleeping after this. But let's see where to raid into, and then we're gonna call it a night. Let's see here. I think I got some choices. Let's see here. We've got several choices here. Oh my gosh. There's some oh no. Oh, hi Lanya. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the raid. We are actually about to raid out. I was in the process of choosing someone to raid out into, so you could just join the raid. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you. If you have to raid and run, I understand. No, I'm about to raid out, so it's okay. But for those that don't know me, my name is Hime. I'm a parrot. I normally do solo TTRPG stuff, which is what I was doing tonight. I was basically doing this like Lovecraftian horror game. We survived chapter 2, so we're gonna do chapter 3 next time. But yeah, look at this cool binder. Isn't that neat? That's where the game is and the dice and everything. But yeah, we are actually going to raid out. Dang, that means I can't raid hero because I guess you guys are all going. Let's see, that binder is so nice. I hope I get to know where you got it from. It's from the Abyss Echo. It's specifically for this game. It was on a Kickstarter, but I don't know if they're gonna reprint the game ever. It may be lost media, I don't know. Because they keep saying MSRP in the Kickstarter, so it makes you think that we got a Kickstarter price because the MSRP price will be higher or whatever, but I don't know if and when they're gonna reprint it. But yeah, it's from Abyss Echo, which is what the game was. Well, let's see here. Ooh, sad. It's pretty though. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like a horror kind of a story, so it's neat. It's neat. It's fun. You know what? I think we're gonna raid into False. He's playing World of Warcraft. I think that's fine. It's nice and kind of interestingly chill. Might be a nice way to wind down after that. Yep. Good night. Thank you. Alright, so we are going to raid into my friend False Spring, which I think will be nice and chill. Sorry to all the raiders that just came in. Thank you, Kai, for doing the raid message for me. But yeah, so we're gonna go head over that way. False is a really, really chill dude, so if you don't already follow him, hopefully you do after this. But yeah, thank you again so much for being here. I am not streaming tomorrow because I have to do my Warhammer League match, but I will be around Wednesday for my birthday. Just chilling with some friends. Literally, we're playing like a sledding game in the snow, so it'll be very chill, haha. Okay, so hopefully I see y'all then. Enjoy the rest of your night, and thanks for being here, everybody. Good night.